100 Days in Dinkum, a wholesome Aussie survival game where I wrestle crocked, found like a maniac, and somehow ended up broke still. Was I productive? Depends who you ask. Was it fun? Absolutely. Did I die more times than, I want to say? Maybe. But anyway, let's dive into the chaos and welcome to our 100 Days in Dinkum. There's one thing wrong with this game. I can't be bold. I mean, what sort of racism is that? I mean, I have to be horrible with this. Look at this haircut. But anyway, we're called Island Boy. And our island is called Not a Scam. Anyway, we start in South City. We receive a letter from a strange old woman. I was hoping she had a lot of money, but sadly she didn't, so I didn't get with her. But either way, she offered us an escape from our horrible, mundane life. And said, do you want to come with us to this crazy island? Do what you want. There's probably no laws there. Let's go for it. So I said yes. She gave us a map, and we had a look where we wanted to place down the base camp. Obviously, we are smart. On the way there, we made sure to pick up loads of different items that we can eventually sell, but it also increases our foraging level and gets us some extra license points. We placed down the base camp, and she's like, yeah, this is great, love it here. I couldn't have done better than myself. And we're like, yeah, that's good. We placed down our tent. Obviously, I do it away from her, because she's an old woman. She's alright, but she's a bit nosy. But once all that is done and dusted, she now says, have you heard of John? We say we have. I haven't. But she says he's a blooming legend. So obviously, we need to make sure we can get him to visit because we can sell stuff for him and we can also buy stuff from him. So then we have to place down the visit in sight deed. Place that down and we receive her dead dad's journal. It's a bit strange, but thanks. But it is quite useful because with that we're able to get license points, and again it's a scam, but with these license points you're able to spend them with Fletch to then be able to get licenses to use certain stuff. She then says she's hungry and she wants me to go cook her some food. So she gives us a recipe for a campfire and we get that made and we cook her some yummy scrummy food. Lucky enough I already had some fruit on me that I had found whilst finding this place, so we just gave her that. I wasn't going to give her any of the good stuff. And because of that, she gave us a bug net. With that, we're able to obviously catch bugs. It's in the name. We do catch ourselves a blue moon butterfly and also a swallowtail butterfly. And I mean, I can name everything. We catch butterflies. And then we put our sleeping bag down and call it a night. The next morning, John is visiting, but before we speak to him, we do need to speak to Fletch. This is where she tells us about her elaborate scheme of how everyone needs a license to use everything, and she's the one that can give us them. Clearly, it's some pyramid thing. I don't know. It's dodgy. But we go to John and we give him all our items we collected to try get some cash money. I mean, 5k for that, easy money at the end of the day. Then we ask him, do you need out doing, mate? Do you need anything whilst we're here? Let's try do a few jobs for you. You can come stay. And he needs some sand dollars, which are just shells. So we gather them in no time and hand them over. I ain't gonna lie, it worked out. Look how much money he gave us. With that, we got ourselves a fishing rod. Fishing is a good way to get money. Then Fletch says, you know what, go buy the table saw, I'll give you half, but gave us 2,500. Look, I ain't a mathematical genius, but that ain't right. We then use all the license points we gathered to buy a bunch of licenses, as well as getting some tools from John, so we are ready to mine, chop down trees, and dig up anything we can find. Fletch then has a job for us to get a furnace, so we need some stone, so we go around getting that, as well as some tin ore. With the smelter, obviously, you can imagine we're able to smelt stuff. So we get that bill and we get that place down and start by getting some tin ore cooked, smelted, made into a bar. Obviously, I want to make the place look kind of nice. We did place down some nice flooring. We don't want the place, looking like we've just come to a random island and gone, this'll do. And then that was the end of day 2. Successful day, we made some decent money as well. But there we are, smelting, chopping some planks. At this moment in time, life is good for us. The only thing we really need to do is get John to actually stay. So we ask him, what do you need? And he wants us to go capture him a grasshopper. I mean, I don't know why he needs that, why you'd want that, but hey, who am I to argue with him? So we go and do that. I mean, look how long it takes us. These things were rapid. I felt like a mum when they tell the kid it's bath time and they don't want to get in. I could not get the thing, but I managed to capture it at the end and we gave it over to John and he was buzzing. He even blew me a kiss and gave me a cool hat. Obviously we had to put the hat on and show him how cool we are. And with that, he's now said he will stay. So all we had to do was place down the shop deed. Once we're able to do that, we then just had to give the shop deed resources, and then with the resources we can build the shop, and then we have a new shop for him, and he's a permanent resident on our island. But our trouble was, where do we place it? And I decided where we placed the original buildings, it wasn't right for me. So we moved more towards the beach and thought, you know what, let's go for a bit of like a beachy vibe for this one. I then needed to harvest some wood so we can turn it into planks so we can get this building started. So not only did we have to get wood, we did also need some tin. So we had to keep an eye out for that. But we were lucky enough to find ourselves a beehive. With the beehives, once you've got the shop built, you can place it onto the scales and like John weighs it out and says, yeah, I'll give you this much. And I mean, it's alright money. It's not terrible. But once we had that wood sorted, we were out looking for tin. That knackered us out, so we called it a day. And that was the end of day 3. As you can see, we did quite a bit and our levels went up a decent amount. It was mainly foraging, but it is still quite good. The next morning, we start by chopping our tin bar in half to make a tin sheet. I always felt like a tin bar should make 2 tin sheets. I don't know, something about that just doesn't sit right with me. But either way, that was all the materials needed to start the construction of the shop. So we spent the rest of the day doing some fishing. The fishing is very simple in this game, but it's also enjoyable, and the fish do sell for a decent amount. Selling all that, I mean, we got 6,000 and it was about 4 or 5 fish. But that did knock us out, so we were on to the next day. So we start day 5 by checking out the progress on the shop. As you can see, it's about halfway done and it should be done by the next day. We then grab a few shells and then even mine up an old barrel before doing a bit more fishing. I do want to get the level up so at some point it's a bit easier, but also so our fishing rod doesn't just break in like 6 attempts, because it doesn't really last long. But anyway, short day, didn't do too much. We woke up on day 6 to see that our first building was done. In the journal, it told us we had got it. Even Fletch was buzzing. I mean, I don't really like Fletch, but at least he's happy. But we do pay half of the town debt off that we acquired from the store. I mean, it's 70k for that. I mean, it ain't worth it. We could have built like a decent sized house. A shopping centre, really. This island's got nothing. But anyway, John was like, can you go get me some toenail shells? I mean, what a strange name, but we went out. It took us a while, but we made it back. Weighed out our beehive, and we actually got a decent amount. 8k, we just found it. Easy enough, easy money, and we gave him his 5 shells. And again, the reward isn't terrible. You know what? The jobs are worth it, because we can just sell the plant pot. But we do end up selling all our items, and we do get a decent little profit of about 6k. Then we use our big brain to get the metal detector, because with that we're able to just go around and just find stuff that is buried in the ground. And if we get enough shiny discs, when Franklin visits, they go for 10k each. It's honestly one of the best ways to make money early on. You're able to just absolutely rinse him. Day 7, we have our next visitor. We're excited to see who it is, but then I remember it's going to be the bloke with the museum. He doesn't even say hi, he's just straight up like, I'm building a museum, you can gather everything. I mean, these people, like, you literally can have a town of 20 people, yet no one does so but you. So after he's yapping away, our only goal now really is to get enough so we can pay off the town debt and keep expanding. The museum is good, it gives us something to work towards, and we always want to try and get it filled up. We decided to do a little bit of fishing before getting some stone, and then we do sell a lot of our items to John. With that, as you can see, we got 21k, getting us closer and closer to being able to pay off that town debt, and now we're about 3,500–4,000 away. We then decided to do a bit of metal detecting to try and see if we can find some good buried treasure. Obviously, if we managed to find ourselves a fossil, we would be in for some big money, but sadly we don't, but we do find a lot of useful stuff, and stuff that does sell for a decent amount. So we're straight back to John and we're like, bro, take this, what you going to give us? 6k, not bad. You know, I've just thought, John's allowed to be bold, but I'm not. Like, how is that fair? Anyway, we pay off our debt for the shop and apply for the museum deed. So all we really have to do now is find some place to put it down, but then also get the materials. But before we do that, we decided we needed some more licenses, and we just kind of grab everything and anything. Farming is going to be very useful, it can make us a lot of money. The vehicles, I mean, at some point I do want to have the bikes, the cars, the helicopters, the lot. So we find where we want to place the museum and we start gathering some materials for it. We needed some tin so we could start smelting it, but it was going to take all night, so we went to sleep and started again on day 8, gathering some wood and looking for some more tin. But also we decided to get some quartz as well as some shiny stones. At this point I didn't have a grinder and I probably should have kept my shiny stones, but I did end up selling them because I'm a bit stupid. But once we were back to smelting, as well as getting some planks made for this museum. We do also get some nails made because obviously we need to be able to bang them into wood and stick it together, but we needed to make a crafting table that was a bit closer to us so we weren't travelling far. But then this is where we made our biggest mistake. We thought a bridge, it's going to look great, it's going to be useful. I could not place it anywhere. I tried multiple locations, I started moving stuff around, it just wouldn't work. We then did speak to John to see if he needed any jobs doing, and he just wanted to buy a table for him, and we didn't have enough money. So today was not going well for us. It was just mistake after mistake. I just called it a day. Day 9, and we had someone new visiting. Every time someone new is visiting, this is the perfect time to try and build a relationship with them so they can potentially stay. I ain't gonna lie, personally I'm not too bothered about the clothes in the game. I'm more bothered about just growing the town, getting the people in there. But I mean, you might be into the fashion, you might not be, but it's fun to have around if you're into that. So I do end up getting myself a crusher for 10k because we do need it to crush stone into cement so we can carry on building the museum. So that is the first thing we do with that. We then get whatever materials we have placed into the museum and see that we are still a few gumwood planks short, so we have to head out and try find some more, as well as getting a few more tins so we can make some more nails. We then do remember that Clover asked us to get some toenail shells, so we obviously head out and grab them. You'd think like we're literally on a beach. She could do, she's here for a day. Why don't she have a fun time going around collecting shells? But no. Get me to do it. These people annoy me. But anyway, that is all the materials ready for the museum. We sell anything else we had to John to just try and get that extra money. And I mean, we didn't get too much, but it was a little bit. Then we gave the shells to Clover. In return, she gave us, obviously, a very generous amount of 11,000 dinks. And with that, we were on to day 10 already. I mean, we're smashing through it. We're doing well. We're ready to get the museum built. Before you know it, we're going to have more people here. We just need to focus on money at this point. This is when we got our first letter from the bug tipster, who pretty much says you can find something in the, in the bushlands. I'm like, oh, cool. Anyway, what's up, Fletch? And she's like, can you catch this bug for me? I already had it from the day before. It was like I knew, so I just gave her it. Easy job. And again, she gave us a decent amount of money. Then John wants 5 gum logs. I don't know why. I didn't ask. He's probably got something dodgy set up. He's probably going to set up, a stake and burn Fletcher here. I don't really care. At the end of the day, he's probably going to give me a good reward, right? I mean, he's got a... Right? He won't give me anything stupid like a finch hood. I look like I have an egg on my head. Look at that. I look like an egg. Anyway, we're doing a bit of metal detecting and we thought, you know what, there's nothing else for us to do right now, so we'll call it a day and get ready for the next 10. So we start day 11 by coming out to see that our museum has been built and we had the milestone for it. Then we went to go speak to Franklin. He's obviously my favourite person because we can just get so much money from him. I mean, we can't complain with 35k for pretty much doing nothing. Then we obviously had the question, do you need anything? Come on bro, come stay. Is useful to have. Also, turns out, can't catch a frog. I thought, like, come on now. A net, a frog's getting in a net. Like, to me, that just makes, like, sense. But apparently not. We then made our way to Theodore to have a look in the museum for the first time. And obviously, we had to give them some of these insects we already had. I don't really plan on just filling the museum and getting everything. I think if I've got something that I can like put into the museum, I will. I like the license points, but I'm not going to go out my way to purposely try and fill it, because that's just not fun for me. After looking around the museum, we decided, you know what, let's try and find some more shiny discs, because if we can give them to Franklin, we can make some good money. So we spend the day going around with our metal detector, trying to find just a little something. And obviously we found like nothing. But anyway, we decided to get the job done for Franklin. Then we found ourselves an amber chunk. Bro, my luck is like negative usually in finding these. So to find one is huge. And look at the money. 45k for digging a hole. And already we broke over the 100k mark in like holding money. And then John rips us off. 20 plus grand for 3 old keys. Are you crazy? Anyway, we put a butterfly into the museum and then we speak to Franklin. And then we realise I've gone and sold the sand dollars that he wanted. Like, am I stupid? So then I had to go back through and re-find 6 more and then give them to him. And it was getting quite late at this point. For it, I mean, he gave us 11k, not too bad. Then we went to sleep, and I mean, you can see how much we did. Like, foraging, crazy amount. 100k in a day, easy. Next day, we needed some ore. So we started the day out by mining some tin ore. It's always a really useful material to just have. Plus, once we get our mining level up, we can get the copper pickaxe into the iron. And then before you know it, we can even get some electrical ones. We then went out a way to get some wood as well. We then smelted the tin as well as chopping some of our palm wood logs. Again, we need all this stuff, and it's not really like a terrible waste of time. We made ourselves some storage because we're always getting a full inventory, so we made a bunch of wooden crates to leave around the island so we've always got storage, as well as making ourselves the basic spear so we can actually go around and stab up these chickens. I mean, I've got to get some real meat somehow. Oh yeah, that's how I found out frogs, you just stab them. We then paid off the town debt, and that was the museum fully paid for. And then Flex was like, you know what? You're going to have some new license. I'm only going to charge you a ridiculous amount. So we got what we needed, as well as even a tool belt increase, which is huge. We then did a job for John, and it was pretty much just giving him some light bulbs in our inventory. Easy money, and I mean, I can't complain. We then put some new butterflies into the museum, and Theodore was buzzing. But again, it's the license points. It's why we need them. We then go around looking for some copper because we were running low. Obviously, we got to get that smelted nice and quick. We then made ourselves a billy can kit because with that we can like make like brews and jams, and it's just useful to have. Day 13, and we have a new visitor on the island. But before we got time to worry about that, we have got some stuff to do, like making the copper axe. Then we realise rain is here, and I ain't talking no weather, I'm talking the woman. And you know what, she's good. She gives us farmer supplies. Farming is good. Just don't overcommit early like I usually do. We decide to accept a job for her, which is getting a butterfly, really easy. And then we had this horrible looking bird trying to attack us, and I mean, I messed it up. It started running away from me, bro. Like, my aura is just that fierce. We then did a little bit more, going round, looking for some stuff to dig up. I mean, if we find like a fossil or an amber chunk, we're in for big money. But then, with the job done for Rain, we decided we need to sell all our inventory and potentially go and buy some crop. We decided to buy 30 wheat off Rain, hoping that this will be like a good starting amount, because we don't want to overcommit and make like a 100 wheat farm and just ruin ourselves. We then spend the rest of the day doing some fishing, catching some fish for the museum, hoping to find something good. We then sell a bunch of stuff to John again, we gotta get some good money, and then we get ourselves our watering can. We then find this shark that has been like beached, and we're like, this is it, we're taking a shark down. And I don't know what's happened. I mean, you could play some Benny Hill on top of this, because we're running round trying to get it. This thing is running away from us. It did not want the smoke. Clearly, we are just that scary. I mean, at this point, I was thinking, can't I just throw the spear? Like, I've seen it. We could do that, but no, we couldn't. But we killed the shark, and we got some shark flake, and then we called it a day. The next day, I was thinking, this is it. Get me decorating clothes on. We're doing a bit of DIY. Made ourselves some flooring and made ourselves a fence. And we found this nice little area where we was going to put the farm. It's just behind John's shop. And then we placed down some paths. At first, we didn't have enough, but, you know, it started to look good before we started hoeing the ground. Yes, I had to use your sister for this one, but, you know, she's a good hoe. Once all the ground was hoed, obviously it was time to plant, and once we got planting, we then obviously just had to water it, and oh my god, does it drain your energy. Wait until we get sprinklers, we're going to be unstoppable. I don't know what you're thinking, this looks like a weird place to place it. For now, it's going to work. Once we get the compactor and we can get rid of the mud and make the place nice and flat, it's going to look marvellous. We then place some more flooring down to make it like a nice little floored area for our billy can. Obviously, we're not going to be doing too much right now, but it's just going to be to make some brews for when we get the deep mine, just so we get a lot more energy. Day 15 and Franklin is back. Sadly, we only had 6 shiny discs. I mean, I would have loved more, but it's better than nothing. So we sell him our tin bars before giving him our shiny discs, and that brings us up to a decent amount of just over 70 grand. We then go to Fletch and decide to pay off the town's debt. It was only 2k, we couldn't complain. We then decided to get the deed for the billboard and pay that off instantly, get the deed for the bandstand, pay that off instantly, and then get the deed for the wish fountain, which is new for me. We then get a license for our level 2 mining and see we can now unlock the deep mine. We just need 2,500 license points. So that is our main goal, to try and achieve that by day 20. We place down the bandstand deed and then we start placing down some more flooring. Obviously the paths look nice, we want the place to look good. We do place down the bulletin board and it just like, they put jobs up there, it's like extra ways to try and earn some like reputation with the villagers. We make ourselves the copper pickaxe, which is a massive upgrade from just the standard tin, and we go around collecting all the resources we need to make the bandstand. So once we get all the wood, all the stone and all the ore we need, we have to start smelting them down and also chopping the wood. Cement is also a big one, but it's real easy to get. You just get some stone and put it in the grinder, and that's it. Bandstand ready to go. Day 16 starts, and we are watering our crops. I mean, farming is a full-time job. Obviously, once we get the better, like, watering cans, it's going to be so much easier. And then we see that Theodore wants to trade some clothes, and I didn't really have oats, so I just took my trousers off and was like, here you go, mate. Things you do to try and build a relationship with people nowadays. All I gotta say, look how nice this place is looking, bro. I am like a decorator, a designer. Bro, I could be all of that. Like, look how nice it is. The contrast of the wood against the sand. Oh, look at me. Big words. We then decided to do like a big chunk of fishing, hoping to get a bunch of new fish that we could give to the museum. And I kind of forgot about that and sold it all and was like, oh, whoops. Anyway, went to sleep. Next day, paid off the town debt. And we were still nowhere near our goal. We then speak to Rain and she's like, can you get me this fish? It's in the rivers. And I'm like, yeah, that'll be easy. Oh my god. This was annoying. I could not find this fish. It literally, hours, and then we finally got it, and oh my god, what a time to be alive. The thrill of spending hours trying to get a fish to just give it to Rain for nine measly grand. But anyway, we donated all the fish that wasn't in the museum, and we got 400 license points, which again isn't great, but it's not terrible. That was the end of day 17, on to day 18. I mean, look how many fish we caught, bro. Crazy. We then decided, you know what, let's go capture a bunch of like butterflies and whatever else and creatures. That'll go well. All I could find was blue moon butterflies. I felt like I was going crazy. 3 new creatures to put in the museum. Again, hours for nothing. Pointless. The only positive was some milestones did get completed. So that meant our license points were now up to just over 3k, meaning we were less than 500 away from achieving our goal. Obviously, we made sure to water our crops. With the new update, we've now got dynamic weather in the game, so we have had a few days where it started raining during the day, and that's been a massive help because it saves me loads of energy and time. But still, I mean, you've got to water them crops. Franklin was back, and I had like 1 shiny disc. I mean, I tried looking around just before we went to him, and I found 1, and it was a bit sad. But if you look at the bottom left of the screen, you will see there is 3 icons, and they're like in the journal, and they're like daily tasks to get license points. And it was to grind down some stone, water some crops, and cook some meat. And lucky enough, that literally would be enough for us to actually have enough license points to get our deep mine. So once we got that fully complete, we went to bed. Boom. We're done. That's how easy it is. Mine deed complete. And we're on day 20. Goals can be achieved if you put your big brain to it. But then this was the hard part, going round and collecting all the resources. This took a while, and this was probably one of the longer days of just running round, like making sure you had everything, mining, chopping down trees, making sure you had, certain parts which are like commonly found or easy to like just pin like one item. Not only that, smelting takes ages. It's like 3 or 4 minutes just to smelt one ore. The minute we can improve it, we are. But we was really close, and then we finally got our last copper bar complete. And then we was able to run over to the deep mine, place everything in, and that was ready to go. It's probably going to take a couple of days, so around day 22 we'll have it good to go. But the next 2 days will be purely leveling up our mining so we can have the best pick possible. So we wake up day 21, and obviously we are farming again already. I mean, farming can make you good money in this game, but oh my god, watering plants will be the death of me. Then John was like, gives you clothes, I'll give you something better. And then we saw that Theodore wanted someone to take care of an alpha bush devil, and I was like, I'm confident, I can do this. So we took our top off, gave it to John for some fresh black trousers. And I realised at this point I'm looking quite stupid, but you know what? We work it, we make it look good. So then we carry on watering our plants. I mean, I did get a little distracted. I can't help myself. I saw the notice board. I was like, right, come on, let's have a look. We'll have a look. I then decided I wanted to get my mining level up just a little bit, hoping I could unlock a better pickaxe. But also I just wanted a few more ores and general stuff. You never know, we might have found a fossil. We didn't. We don't have that luck. Luck is just not on our side. After our pick broke, we were like, you know what, we're near the alpha bush devil. Me and my basic spear, we're going to give this a go. Oh my god, they were never this hard, were they? I mean, was it because I've always played co-op? Like, what is going on? This thing absolutely slapped me, bro. I was not ready. I couldn't deal with it. I played Elden Ring. I finished Elden Ring. Just flexing, but come on now. This is harder. So after all the bobbing and weaving and trying to run round, just pure skill move this geezer. Yeah, it didn't go. Look, I did no damage. I mean, we're doing like 4 damage each hit. And I mean, every time he hits me, it's like 20 damage. I mean, there was fire everywhere. There was literally nothing I could do. I mean, I don't even know why I tried. At this point, I was like, yay, it'll go well, it'll go well. It didn't. I mean, look, I even tried. I tried to run. It didn't work out. So that is our first death/pass out. I mean, obviously, you don't die in the game, you pass out and it ends the day. But yeah, end of day 21, we had a day planned full of loads of stuff, and we never did it. And it's not really my fault. But anyway, next day we had a new building built, and we realised that the deep mine actually built quicker than we thought. And what's our luck? It's a fishing contest. But I didn't clock it was Sunday. I was like, oh right, you know what? I'm gonna get some food. I'm gonna get my skills up. I'm gonna try get a better spear. Harvest my wheat. I didn't even make a scythe at this point. Then I realised it was Sunday, and I was like, all right, we'll do the fishing competition. Yeah, I thought it was any fish. So me and John are battling over fish. I'm like, listen here, Baldy, I'm getting this fish. And he's like, no, you're not. Turns out the only way to get points is with barracudas. I didn't even know. I caught 1. I spent the whole day on this. And I was like, oh, I got 1 point. And John's got 7. And then I realised. So, again, kind of what of a waste. But hey, a lot to the museum. We're cracking on. Obviously, Theodore was buzzing, to him. It's like his birthday. He's like, best day ever. Mate, easy money at the end of the day. Well, license points. I still got a little bit of money, but still. Then we decided we wanted to create a grain mill so we could turn our wheat into flour, and then we could also make extra money. But then also we can turn the flour into bread and then make more money, and it'll work out. So we make one of these and we place it down and we start putting some of our wheat in. Then we sell all our fish and all the other stuff that we collected whilst we were out and about. We did find ourselves getting a few more license points, and then we bought ourselves a copper bar as well as a mine pass, because we need a mine pass. We had to get ready to finally go down to the deep mine, and I was excited for it. We made ourselves a fresh copper pickaxe, and we even got ourselves some food ready, but I didn't think about a light source, so it's going to be kind of dark. Like, I didn't think about it. I forgot when my old says I'm used to having like the candle hat or the helmet torch. Yeah, it's a bit dark. But the main thing we're looking for are the treasure rooms, as well as mining any big rocks and getting any ores that we need, and also looking for some rubies. We did find our first one. We were buzzing, but we carried on going round. I am going to say the bats seem a lot easier than in previous editions of the game, because before bats were annoying. Now they're not too bad and they don't really do much damage, so I would say that's a big improvement. We did run across our first treasure room, and inside there was another ruby. I mean, it's free loot, we can't complain, and we've got enough keys to keep doing this. Obviously, the more stuff we collect, the more money we can make, but also rarer stuff we can find. So on our way to take that ruby back to the lift, we do come across another treasure room. Obviously, we had a few bats to deal with, but inside we found ourselves an iron pick. I mean, can't go wrong. A couple of iron bars, copper bar, and even some paint. And I can't help myself. I take the chest, and I take every single torch there is. Then we take our ruby back to the lift. I mean, I do carry on mining a bunch of the stones, hoping for like a fossil or something of value. But we get ourselves a guitar. I mean, how great. But we find another ruby. I do think we find like 4 altogether, so I'm not going to lie. For a first deep mine visit, we're doing quite well. And we didn't really have to deal with actually that, many vicious animals. It was quite easy. But it got to about, 10 to 8, and I was like, let's call it a day. So we dumped all the rubies outside and got ready to call it a night. But obviously I had to show off this techie part where I was like, 2 at once. 2 at once. I mean, you can launch these things. It's kind of cool. My plan pretty much was to use the deep mine as much as possible in these early days to build up a good amount of money, but also just be ready so that if, we do need to be paying off town debt quick, we can. But as you can see, we got our hunting level up a decent bit, and we actually unlocked the next level of that, as well as getting a decent bit into our mining level as well. Overall, not a bad day. But the next day, we did have a good surprise. Franklin was here, and he's the one I want the most to be able to be a permanent resident, so we need him as much as possible. And lucky enough, the task that he wanted doing was just buy some kale off him, so easy done. And sadly, we only had 2 shiny discs to give him, but either way, it is free money at the end of the day. Still an easy 17k. And then we thought, you know what, let's have a look if there's anything we can get off him. And I was like, yeah, let's get a quarry. This will be super smart. Let's get everything we need. Let's go and gather all the ingredients and get new licenses and be all ready for it. And then, yeah, it didn't really get a plan. I spent all day gathering all these resources for it. And by the time I got everything and had everything ready, he had finished for the day, and I couldn't get it. So a bit of a pointless day. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, we got a few keys, we got a few shiny discs, but still, just not worth it. We did decide to go take our rubies to John, and as you can see, we actually got a really decent bit of money from him. So 35k for the first one, 73 for the second, 39 for the third, and finally for the fourth, a 44,000. I mean, we were rolling in it. We then bought ourselves a furnace because we needed the better furnace so we could actually smelt iron bars. Our poor old crude one just isn't living up to it anymore. But this is where we went to Franklin, and I'm like, where's the option to, get him to make something? And it just wasn't there. Then I looked at the time, and I think we missed it by 5 minutes. I mean, come on. Really? You'd do that to me? So the day kind of felt wasted, so we went to sleep, in anger. The next day we checked the bulletin board to see there was a smelting request by Theodore, 5 tin ore for 3 tin bars. I ain't gonna lie, that's good. You're getting 3 times what you'd usually get. We then go to John, quickly buy yourself a torch and a mining pass, so we could actually see what's we're down in the mine, and obviously we need a mining pass to get down there. And then we made our way over to Theodore to give him the 5 tin ore. Obviously, all of this is just actually getting our relationship up with the people that are permanent residents already. I mean, am I going to go for the 5 hearts? Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, probably not. But anyway, down the deep mine again, and this time we were thinking, let us get a ruby and place it into the machine and get the shard so we could potentially get down to the next level of the deep mine. But before that, we got set on fire. I mean, it didn't start off too great, and I thought this is not going to be a good day. But it did pick up just a little bit, because we found some decorations. These torches are going to look good on the beach. I mean, I like the lights, I like it at night when things light up, but also you don't have to craft them, you just pick them up. But we come across our first treasure room, and inside, I mean, nothing crazy, iron pickaxe, some fertilizer, some paint. Second one, we did find ourselves a statue. They do sell for a decent amount, but I'm not looking to sell them. I am going to keep them and hopefully decorate our place. I also discover as well, the torch stuns them. Like, I don't know how Ollie just figured this out. Like, it's made fighting these creatures so much easier. Why couldn't, like, fighting an alpha be as easy as this? I mean, I'd be laughing. I'd be rolling in it. I'd look like a geezer. But no, I like a mug. We take down the bush devil and open up the chest. And again, we do find ourselves a helmet with a light on, but we need to find a way to charge it, and we need to charge it from Franklin, but Franklin isn't a permanent resident. And, I mean, there's a lot to it. It's not as simple as that. But overall, we do really well. We even find ourselves an opal. The amount of treasure rooms we find were great. We even found ourselves a treasure room just another ruby in. So we had rubies. We were doing good. We were feeling good. Overall, it was a great success of a day. So after getting all our rubies inside, as well as obviously finding all the treasure rooms, we made our way up and then placed down some of our decorative torches, or lights, or lampposts, or whatever you want to call them. They're cool, alright? The place looks nice. So after placing them down and lighting our beach up just a little bit, we decide to head to bed. I feel like we made a decent amount of progress towards our levels today, but I'm not going to lie, it just means we get better licenses in the future. And obviously at some point we do want to be able to have maybe all the licenses, and you know, is something possible? Maybe. The next day we had some mail from Fletch, and it was just the usual, you can get a new license, oh my god, give me attention, like, go away. But we decided to go take our rubies to John's store. Obviously we had to quick look at the notice board and see there was a smelting request as well as a shipping request. 30 cooked meat, I thought I could do that nice and quick, so we quickly sold our rubies to John. 68k for the first one, and then we also got a 53k right away afterwards. We then gave John what he asked for, and again, we're just getting our relationship up there with him. John's going to love us by the end of these 100 days. We then bought ourselves another furnace just so we could smelt iron even quicker. Then we needed a new mine pass. I'm not going to lie, 25k each time, it adds up. But then we bought ourselves a barbecue because, you know, we're in Australia, like, I swear that's like their national sport. So we placed that bad boy down, and then we go out and we start collecting some, like, cactus, like, things that we can plant cactuses with, as well as some bananas. And then, you know, we just go around and we're attacking animals, and we're looking for meat and looking for fruit, because we're thinking, right, let's plant fruit back at the base and then try and make that into money. And then we find an amber chunk and everything's going great until we run into an alpha. And when I say this thing did not leave me alone, it literally followed me, and it ended my day really quick, which was sad, because again, I was like, today's going to be productive, and it wasn't. So then we had to figure out where we actually got knocked out and go get our amber chunk back. And then on the way there, we were like, great, the alpha's still there. I mean, surely he's not going to, you know, follow us all the way back home, is he? He did. He followed us the whole way. I mean, kept shooting at us. We were like zigzagging. It was crazy. I mean, we went to John's shop. I was like, John, help me out. Buy this off me. I was thinking, are we going to be safe? No, we wasn't. Because we went outside. And he was there. And we were there, barbecue in hand. Boom. He's literally outside. Poor John has got a burn hole in his shop. But we decided, I don't know how, I don't think this is a smart idea. Like, health and safety should be getting involved here. We're barbecuing inside a tent. This feels pretty stupid, but we do it. And we had all the meat that we needed, so we just barbecued that away. And then we was like, right, let's go tell Flex we've got all the meat. You know, again, what can go wrong? Nothing surely will go wrong. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. We've wasted like 3 days to this alpha. Like, honestly, 3 whole days is being wasted. So this was it. We had enough. Day 28, we're like, this is it. You're getting it. You are getting it today. It took a while, but we finally got there and managed to take the alpha down. It felt good. We felt strong. But then the actual job had expired, so we get no money for it. So it's kind of pointless at the same time. I mean, we got some meat, like, great, but I mean, I'd want the money. But anyway, we went to Fletch and told her we had done the job for her, gave her 30 cooked meat, and then she gave us our 52,000 dinks. We then went to go speak to Rain, and we decided, you know what, we will buy your free iron ore off you. It was actually quite cheap, and then she said, you know what, I'm going to stay here, just build me my shop. So we was like, we'll do that next, let's buy some stuff off you, get ready to do a bit more farming, but we'll do it in a few days' time. We then take a few more jobs before planting some banana trees around the beach, because I feel like they would fit the aesthetic we are going for, which is like, I don't know, like kind of beachy. Then on like the starting beach, like the old town, we're just going to plant all the fruit, so then we can use it to make jams, which will hopefully make us a good amount of money. I mean, we're even planting apple trees, and then we start planting cactuses. I mean, bro, we are thinking ahead. We are thinking in the long run for this game. These 100 days, we're going to be a billionaire. Or maybe a millionaire. I don't know. I don't even, we'll even get that far. But before you know it, we had them all planted, and then we were ready to pay off some more town debt. We paid off 200k and left ourselves with 10. We then did a little bit of going around looking for some more keys for when we go down into the deep mine, even further, the further deep mine, whatever you call it. Hoping, we're going to find some good stuff, and we were running out of keys. We used quite a lot. We also then did a job for John and got a tin bar. And then we had the idea to make a rowboat, and then just, I don't think we ever did it, and I don't know why. I kind of had all the stuff ready to go, and then I got distracted and started fishing the night away and caught some new fish. And then we also found a bunch of pearls so we could finish off the wishing well, which I still don't know what we're going to use it for. But we're going to use it at some point, maybe. But after collecting all this fish, we do get the wishing well built, and then we do call it a night. This is also the last day of summer, and we were now into autumn. We then saw that John wanted to trade some more clothing, and we thought, you know what, you can have your trousers back. I've worn them, things have gone crazy in them. We'll take your bandana, like, well, why not? Turns out I can wear my bandana as well as this stupid hat. But anyway, we gave the new fish we caught over to Theodore in the museum, and turns out we only caught one new one. Then there I am, waiting for John to go in the shop so I can, buy some stuff, go into the deep mine, because, I had some stuff that I needed to buy, and turns out it's a Sunday. So we was like, let's go into the deep mine, and turns out they've changed how the deep mine works. So now you don't have to go down to the first level and then go down to the second level through the mine shaft. Turns out you just do it from the surface, and I never knew that. So I wasted a whole kind of day here. So I just went round and tried to make it worth it, and it was a bit of a waste of the day. I was down. At this point, I was like, I'm not taking a full day doing this. I'm just gonna rush it. Let's get what we can, and then let's just get out of here. So we do grab a few rubies as well as a few treasure rooms before making our way back to the surface. Overall, it was a bit of a pointless day, but we did find a few more like lights, so we placed them around before getting ourselves some new licenses. So we made ourselves a brand new iron spear, meaning we're going to be a little bit stronger now, as well as just going around trying to find some more keys, because again, we're really low on keys and we're going to need them for when we go down to the undergrowth, I believe it's called. And then, the treasure rooms in there require a lot more keys. I do feel like at some point I probably should have done a little bit of research before just going straight in, but I didn't think they were going to change it. But anyway, we called it a day, and we were on now to day 30. Franklin was here, and we actually had a lot of keys for him this time, so we got a decent amount of money, just short of 170k, before he told us he actually liked it here and wanted to stay. So we went and took our ruby to John's shop before heading over to the deep mine, hoping to get to the next level. Obviously, we had to sell all our fish first because we had left them all outside. I mean, we got a little bit of money, but nothing too crazy. So obviously, we got a mine passport as well because we can't get down without it. But this time, I was not making the mistake. I went straight in and put the gems into the slot before entering the deep mine. But we entered the undergrowth, and we were not really ready, let's be honest. I mean, the first mobs we ran into, we were scared, and one hit, we were like, oh god, this is not looking good. Lucky enough, we had some prime meat, so we did survive a little bit, but we also found our first emerald, so we can't really complain. We then found the treasure room, and inside, obviously, we're taking the stone lanterns, as well as finding a chest. I mean, Berkimore, a stone wand. I mean, never seen this before. It just makes stone. Like, what do you expect? And then this is where all the little todgers come and get you. All you got to do is break the todger hole, and then all the todgers come and stop. But I mean, there's a lot of them. This treasure room had an emerald in the middle, but also a todger hole and a bunch of todgers. So it was difficult. And they're not actually called todgers, but I just think that, you know, it's cute. So after dealing with them, obviously we were like, maybe we're not ready. But, you know, we'll stay as long as we can. I mean, we're almost at a point where we're about to pass out. Let's maybe just get what we can and just leave this place. I was thinking maybe, come on, we can do this. We can get like maybe one more item. So, yeah, it was not looking good. As fast as we could, we just got out of there. And, yeah, it was going to happen. It was going to happen. We left. But overall, I mean, we didn't do too bad. I mean, obviously, we was thinking, let us actually get some of these shards so we can go to the, I believe it's called like the hot level. I've never even been to it, so when we go there, it'll be the first time. But our one emerald, we did get 38k, so I mean, is it a massive amount of money? No, but the perfect emerald we did get was worth 77, so we can't complain. So we paid off the town debt before getting the deed for Franklin's store, because like I've said, Franklin's store, it's huge. We can get a lot of electrical equipment, and we can also improve a lot, as well as vehicles. You know, you can get the quarry. It's just going to be very useful for us. So we make ourselves some nails before heading out to get ourselves some wood so we can make it into planks, so we can finally get this shop built. I ain't gonna lie, we're 30 days in, and I feel like we've made great progress so far. I mean, we've already got Franklin. I mean, in my last 100-day video, I mean, we didn't get Franklin until like 130 days in, which is crazy. So it feels great to have him now. But we got all the planks made and all the items put into his building before it was ready to go. Then we called it a night, ready for the next 10 days. Day 31. We're already here. We've got mail. We open it up. John sent us some carpets. I mean, thanks, mate. So we decided to make ourselves some palm wood path. You know, we're making this place look special, nice. We then look at the community board to see that there is an alpha bush devil that needs taken down. So we grab that before laying down some more flooring. I mean, at this point, the place is coming together. The layout of our future town is looking good. We even put down some statues to try and look all fancy. Once we get another crocodile one, it will look good. And then we came across the alpha bush devil. Bro, I was ready this time, you know. Hitless. This is how it was going to go. Our literal Elden Ring experience is coming to help us. We was even eating whilst walking around. Like, we were absolutely clowning this geezer. Then eventually we took him down. He had no chance. We grabbed his meat, not in that way. And then we had to look at our wish fountain. I mean, I'd never even seen it before. 150k. For what? A regretful wish? Like, what am I going to do with that? But then I told, you know, Theodore, we did the job. Where's my money? And he's all like, oh, thanks for keeping the island safe. I did it for money, mate. We then decided to cook up that meat because, you know, it is useful. And then we decided to pay off the town debt. And then, you know, boom, plant shop. We need that. What we need to do is get the plant shop down. With this, we are able to carry on farming even better. Obviously, we track the requirements, and a lot of the stuff we already had. It was just mainly like getting the bars, getting a few ores, and getting the concrete made. It didn't take us too long, but obviously we went a little bit further, and I mean, we even took out a crocodile. It was close. And then we took out a second one. Well, like Steve Irwin, if he had problems. Anyway, we had everything ready to go by 8 PM, just in time for bedtime. And that was the plant shop ready to go. So we called it a night, and we were on to the next day where Clover was visiting. We got some license points because we had Franklin's shop built. We had a look round to see if he had out good, and then we spoke to him to see if we could get a compactor made. We had a lot of dirt to move, and we wanted it gone. Then Fletch had a smithing request for us, and then John wanted to trade some clothing. So we took off our bandana off our face, and we got some nice blue shoes. We then spoke to Fletch and said we'd done that job, give me my reward. I mean, it's not worth it, but it's building up relationships. You know what they say, it's not about what you know, it's who you know. So we gathered all the parts for this compactor and we made our way over and got it ready. It does take a day, so in the next morning it'll be in the mailbox, ready for us to go. And I did make a massive mistake with it. You'll see. Anyway, I spoke to John and said, that's a nice book you've got, mate. 50 Shades of Grey. I mean, Machine Manual will have it. With this, we can have a look at what goes in which. Usually when I played with my now wife. And yeah, we used to just like, you know, let her deal with that stuff and I would just do the rest of the stuff. So now I've got, you know, I'm picking up the slack. But we decided, you know what, let's get a bunch of grain mills going. We don't need one, we need multiple, because when we're getting sugar or we're getting wheat and all that, we know we need to be making that stuff. We need to get this going. Honestly, we're going to be so rich and everyone's going to think, you know what an absolute geezer. We love him. So once we got all our grain mills laid out, I mean, I still kind of need to sort out the pattern. I mean, I made one in the corner, it was a little awkward, but we'll sort it out. We then decided we need more billy cans. Obviously with them we can make like jams and like teas and all that stuff, but eventually if you save up enough and it's raining, a boat can appear in the sea, and if you sell stacks of 50 of stuff to him, he gives you like big money. So if you build up enough, we could make hundreds, if not millions. So we did the usual, run round, grab some ores, make some stuff, get some smelting done, and we got it all ready to go. And obviously we needed a few more paths because we ain't having it on the sand. Like I said, we needed this place to look good. So we laid down the flooring for this new billy can area. Again, this is like a starter area. In the future, this is going to be huge. We're going to try our best to make sure that we are doing some big stuff on this island. Our plan is to just be that rich that, you know, we're like Elon Musk, but without all the drama and the weirdness and the weird named child. Like, we're going to go for a normal named child. So the next morning we saw that Franklin actually gave us our compactor, and we also picked up our silver fishing trophy. I mean, no one else was actually in the fishing trophy except from John, so, I mean, we got second. As you can see, the compactor worked great, but it actually takes quite a lot of stamina, so there was times where I did have to stop. But we decided we was going to use this to clear out the path and make the place look nicer, but also easier to reach. Because in the future, I do want to move like the town hall and like my house and move it more towards the other buildings and, you know, kind of make it like a nice communal area. So what we need is some paths. Obviously, this big lump of mud behind John's shop, I wanted that gone for a while. That was my plan for the farming area. I thought it's close to the shop, it's close to everything. Also, now that, you know, the villagers can help a lot more with the watering of the plants, it's going to make my life even easier. Then I made the mistake of not stopping with the compactor and letting it break instead of just leaving it just before. And if I did that, I would have been able to recharge it. But now I have to make a whole new one and pay out the 75 grand again. And yeah, I messed up. But anyway, we got the field ready. We did some ploughing. And I'm not talking about that night with your mum. We're talking about ploughing a field. We then got a bunch of sugarcane seeds and got them all planted. Because you know what? Sugarcane turns into sugar. It was going to go good. We needed to buy some more. And then we also thought, you know what? Let's do some pumpkins. Because we can make scarecrows, which keep birds away. But also pumpkins, you know, they're just cool. Pumpkins are fun. Then we had the very long task of watering every single one. And, I mean, we're not going to be doing this for too long. Once these grow and we harvest them all, more than likely we're going to be able to get sprinklers. And then the sprinklers work quite well. And we're just going to be able to, like, automate this a lot. And then the only time we really need to do it is planting, fertilising, or even if it just comes to, you know, harvesting. We decided to put some fencing up, you know, fence the area off. I feel like having sort of the farm so close to the town, like feeling part of the town, just kind of adds like a, you know, a bit of like homeliness to it. Like, you know, we're close knit. We're not importing stuff. There's no import tax here. Anyway, we went to sleep, and the next day we had a big new person staying, and we knew we could get some animals. So the first thing we did was got the bird coop getting ready to be made. And then obviously we needed to get some gates going and some fencing for that area. So we placed down the gate, and then we spoke to Erwin. I mean, he's probably one of the better people because he brings animals, and I love animals, and we got to get little chickens or chooks or cooks, or I don't know what they're called, but they're cute, and I want one. Obviously, I needed to name her, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to name them after my pets. So my first dog is called Luna, picture on the screen, and we are going to buy herself a bunch of food for her. And, you know, obviously we need to buy a brush so we can clean Luna, as well as having a feeding trough. And with us having the bird coop as well, we were all ready to set up Luna's new area. Regrettably, I didn't make it big enough, really, I'm not going to lie. I mean, we're going to expand it at some point, don't you worry. But we place everything down, and we get it all ready to go. And look at her. Look at her. She's so cute. But now we have that ready to go, meaning once she finally grows up and becomes an adult, she'll be laying eggs for us on a daily basis. With eggs, again, you know, you can sell them, you can use them in recipes. Sort of the more stuff you put in, the more money you're going to get out, especially with like cooked stuff. You know, it's a whole thing. The area from the mine to like the old sort of town, we decided, you know what, we're going to try out a couple paths and see what we feel, and cement paths seem to work the best, as well as putting some of the lights we got from the undergrowth. We placed down some cement path just to sort of get a feel and think, is this what we're looking for? And I thought, you know what, it looks good. It's got that industrious vibe. Am I just throwing out words and then saying vibe at the end? Maybe. But you know what? It's not that deep. We then place a chest over near the animals because obviously we need to, you know, have a storage area. And then we actually spoke to Fletch that said, you know what? We're now officially seen as a town. So here's a golden jackaroo statue that I'm definitely not going to sell. And then we can now build the town hall. And all I've got to say is, you notice how like she gets like the biggest building? Like, Fletch is... She's a scam artist. If it ain't license points, you know, if it ain't like, oh, just quickly do this for me. She's a scam artist, that woman. But anyway, we found a beehive whilst chopping down some trees. I mean, they sell for a little bit of money. It's extra money at the end of the day. And then we got some planks ready to go. We were still short on a few ingredients or, you know, materials or whatever you want to call them. And so, you know, we got the rest of them made and we were ready to go the next day. Well, apart from we needed some copper, but I mean, we're going to get that. And we're now on the next day and we're going to do it. So all I do, we placed everything in, barring the copper, and then we were just going to spend the rest of the day making sure we got the ingredients for that. So we headed out, grabbed a bunch of copper, and I mean, you know what, I just enjoy mining in this game. I think it's fun. I just go out, mine, run into a random alpha that we take out. You know, it's just what you do sometimes. This is the fun of this game. I felt like sometimes, you know, you can end the day early and still feel like you got a lot done. Or there'll be days where I'm like, you know what, I wish the days were longer and I just had so much stuff I wanted to do. But I feel like these alphas are definitely one of the most harder ones because of their AoE attack. But still, they're quite easy once you get used to it. I mean, my spear did break, so we did have to end up finishing it with a copper axe. But lucky enough, you know, we're smart, we're clever, we were able to do this. Once we got all the copper we needed, on the way back we decided, you know what, it's never too bad just to pick up some random X's on the ground. Let's see if we find some like shiny discs or, you know, golden keys for when we go, you know, into the deep mine. And it all works out. We then went to John and sold our beehive. We then spoke to him and said, look, we've got a bunch of stuff. Do you want this golden statue that Fletch definitely, you know, just didn't give to me and I just found, and look at that money. I mean, come on now. I was going to do it. We then got ourselves a mine pass because, you know, why not? And then we did that job for a rain of taking care of the alpha croco that I didn't even mean to do. I just ran into it. But again, money. Then we had the long task of actually watering crops again. And this is the hardest part of starting any farming. It just takes so long and the stamina is so little and then it just takes all day. But look at Franklin helping us out. What an absolute geezer. But at this point I was like, you know what, my plan is we'll carry on doing what we're doing for the rest of the day. Tomorrow what we're going to do is deep mine it. You know, we're just going to get, you know, a bunch of materials. You're going to be smart. You know, we're running low on stuff. Let's do it. We'll spend the rest of the day mining, but the deep mine's where it's going to be. We're going to be so smart with all this, you know. It's going to go great. And you know what, the rest of the day went good. We got a bunch of ore, we got a bunch of materials, things were feeling good, we called it a day, and we're like, yeah, this is great. And then it hit us saying it's a Skyfest, and I'm like, what that? What even is that? Oh yeah, we got the town hall built. But we're like, what is this Skyfest? And it's a new event, didn't even know about it. And you can make kites, and I mean, it's kind of cool. At first I was like, oh, what's this? Like, this is quite cool. But then it was like, right, you can make a kite at 11, but then you've got to wait till 3 PM to even be able to do it with your kite, really. So then it was like, you know, none of the shops were open. I couldn't really do much because I needed new stuff, and I was kind of just sat around waiting. It was a bit of a day where I was like, right, what do I do now? Because my whole plan had like gone. So we decided to make some more flooring and thought, you know what, today we'll just decorate the town, make it look nice, get whatever we can done. And I mean, look at it, it's looking good. And then this was like the longest plan. I decided to move sand and kind of find somewhere to finally put the bridge that we built like day 6. I mean, we got that, you know, partly done, and then we went to speak to Fletch and got our kitey kit, and we decided to make a red kite. You know, I thought I had some red paint left over. Let's go for it. And, you know, it was fun. We were running around with a kite, and we're like, yeah. And it was great for 10 seconds, and I was like, right, what do we do with it? And they was like, yeah, well, you got to come back later. And it's like, why? I could have done that now. Anyway, after moving about 6 tons of sand, we decided to finally put this bridge down. And I think the placement actually works out quite well. It opens this area. This bit of mud here was like, right, you know, you're in the way. So we decided to move that. It did take a little bit. But overall, I feel like it works well. We've now got an easy access. We want to go check on Luna because we might have forgot, like, you know, the day before. But it's alright. Then we had the actual event where we go round popping lanterns with our kite and they drop vouchers or tokens or whatever they're called. You pick them up, you can exchange them for stuff, and it's like, it's okay. I don't think there's anything amazing out of it. I bought like 5 pinwheels and then realised you just hold them and they're not like decorative or out. We got a moonlight, and then we just went to bed. Next day, town hall's built. I mean, look at the size of this place. It's like 10 times the size of anything else on this island. But of course, it's where Fletch lives. We then decided to grab a bunch of licenses and then go speak to Sheila. And she asked us for like a daft, you know, thing. Like, can you make me a prime roast? Like, I don't really want you here that bad. Not really, no. We then spoke to Rain and said we did that job for you with the 1 tin sheet. And then she actually gives us like a decent reward, I think, of 3 tin bars back for 1 tin sheet. And we find them easy. We then gave 10 shiny discs to Franklin and got a decent amount of 88,000 off him. At this point, I'm just rolling in it. So we said, you know what? Maybe it's time to get the quarry. The quarry pretty much will just, you know, mine up 1 ore or, you know, like the metal cans you can get out the ground. It'll bring, like the barrels, it'll bring 1 of them up each day. Then we thought, you know what? Instead of going down to the deep mine, let's go to the hot. Like, it doesn't sound like dangerous or out. First time ever going here. Didn't even know it was a thing. And I was like, oh my god, what's this? This is cool. I'll put it in the lift and maybe I can sell it. And then now I'm looking at it, I'm like, are you dumb? Like, it's clearly water. And what's going to happen if you throw water on the lava? Well, it's going to stop there being lava. So, yeah, we kind of figured that out. Obviously, I had to grab some flooring, you know, just in case it's really good. But ready for it? Ooh, satisfying. So that was it. We figured out how to maneuver this lava-y area. So all we have to do was throw water around, and we ran into the first sort of enemy in this area, and they are very strong. But also, we're able to take them out. And I feel like we found the first sort of like dungeon, sort of like, you know, reward area. But yeah, we did not stand a chance. Like, these are very strong enemies. I don't know if, you know, we just need to, you know, sort of health out a lot or try and stand back. There's got to be a way we can do this a little easier because it was not going well for us. I mean, the burning effect lasts for a while and we didn't really figure out if there was a way to maybe, you know, throw water on ourselves because you don't really throw it up, you throw it forwards. Look how much money you lose every time you get knocked out. And then we get knocked out again. So I was like, there, I've had enough. You know, game's gone. So we called it a day and decided to head back up. I mean, we are going to venture back at some point, but I feel like it'll be maybe more if we have, you know, maybe better weapons and sort of prepare ourselves for what's actually going to happen. Obviously, the rest of the day, you know, we've got to water crops. You know, we've got to look after these. These are our big money makers. But not only that, we need to get our farming level up really quick so we can unlock sprinklers and just make things a lot easier. We then went to bed. So the next day, obviously, we got up and got our quarry out the mailbox that we got Franklin to make us the day before. And obviously, I felt like the best place for this was just, you know, next to the deep mine. It looks good. It'll be fine. And we were running very low on ore, so we decided to get another mine pass, capture a few bugs, because you never know when you need more, and go into the deep mine again. This time, it was just going to focus on getting pure ores. You know, we're running low. We're going to need a lot. If we run into a treasure room, we'll go in. To be fair, we managed to find even some more lamps. You know, we like them around the town. Things look good when they're lit up. So we just kind of just found whatever we found, and the main thing was ores and maybe rubies, you know, just looking for some actual money. The more money you get, I think the closer you get to unlocking the bank, and then with the bank you can put money into there and you get interest. But when I did play it beforehand, the interest was nothing massive. It was more like you could have like 10 mil in the bank and you'd maybe get like a couple thousand a day, and it just felt like maybe, you know, you should get a bit more. But anyway, we did our job for Rain and she was happy. Our relationships are looking good with quite a lot of the people. I mean, even just doing the community board, even if you don't want to go there every day and ask them like, oh, do you want a job doing it, is still going to build up over time. And then you guessed it, we're watering crops. And I mean, me and Franklin were there late night, we were doing it. Then we went round placing a lot of our lights. I mean, the town's looking good, our trees are coming through, we've got lights lighting everything up, you know, it's getting more populated, the place is looking good. Then we decided, you know, let's melt some ores and even go round catching some new bugs, because I do want to get the museum to a healthy state of, you know, having a lot of fish, having a lot of bugs and stuff, but at the same time, I'm not there to complete it, I'm not a completionist in that way. The next day we had Clover visiting, you know, she does clothes, nothing crazy, it's a lot of like more feminine clothes, so I just thought, you know what, I'm not really into that. So we asked her if she wanted a job, she was looking for something I've never heard of, so I was like, nah. So then we went to Theodore and gave him all our bugs, and he was like, yeah, buzzing, sweet, 900 license points, there you go. Then we bought a cabbage because we actually were going to do a job for Franklin, who wanted one cabbage, and we got like a pastry out of it. You can't complain. And I mean, I did have plans to eat it at some point. It might be nice. Then we decided, you know what, it will be worth getting the charging station, because again, if you like have anything like the compactor, if it runs out of charge fully, it will break. But if you leave it just before, you can recharge it. Then we went to the towers, and these are just like teleportation towers, and we thought, you know what, we want to get them built. We want to get, you know, be able to teleport around the island a lot quicker. It's going to make a lot of sense for us. We went round, gathering some materials, making our way to the tower, and then a shark got us in the water, and day over. Yeah, short day. The next day, our fruit was finally grown on our trees. That is huge news, because with this, we're able to just make a lot more jams, and again, it's going to be money in the long run. We then obviously had to go over and start watering our crops, because again, you know, it needs to be done. And it's one of them days where, you know, you spend the morning watering crops, and I'm like, you know what, I'll do it early in the morning. What can go wrong? It's definitely not going to rain today. And then obviously, to my luck, it rained later on. But then we went to Franklin and said, boom, charging station. We have the parts. Make it for me, big cheese. We then went out and got the first tower built, and we thought, you know what, let's get a rowboat. We're going to be able to, you know, make it from one end of the island to the other, just going through water a lot quicker. But whilst we was going out to get some wood, because we needed some more gum wood, we thought, you know what, let's make sure to actually grab some more fruit, you know, some of the plants, just so we can make, again, like more teas, more jams. You know, I'm thinking for the future here. I mean, look at it, it's raining. Literally a couple hours after I, you know, spend ages bloody watering crops. But we got a lot of the stuff done for this tower, and we looked and saw that we needed 6 more of the wires, and they're not the easiest to find, so we thought, you know what, we'll leave that for the day, make our rowboat, and then get some more stuff put into the billy cans, hoping, you know, for some good stuff. And obviously we have to give the, you know, the boat a quick row. Like, row your boat. It's not just, you know, get the boat and sit in the water. But anyway, the boat was fun. We then went to the town hall and decided to pay off the town debt, because in the future, you never know, we might want to build some more. And this is where Flex said we can now build a bank. So in the future, a bank will be built. Day 41. I mean, we are so close to the 50-day mark already, it is crazy. We start the day by opening up our mailbox to see that Franklin gave us our charging station, meaning now we can charge our mining helmets and anything electrical we have. Then we get making some more cement paths, because still, this isn't ready yet. We need it to look good for when we're back and forth. There's just something about having paths where you live in this game. It just makes it look so much more better, and I don't know, feels homely. But as you can see, we're smashing out the jams, we're smashing out the brews. These billy can kits are getting worked big time. We then saw a job for John and thought, yeah, we can do that, nice and easy. But first, obviously, we had to check on Luna. And we had a bunch of eggs out the back and realised, you know what, this is not an optimal setup. But Erwin will see you today, so we bought another Duke. Obviously, this time I had to call it Freya. Picture on the screen. Sadly, Freya recently passed away, so if I get some RIPs in the comments, much love. We then decided to head out and about, do a bit more gathering, you know, look for shiny discs, want some keys, get a bit of fruit, some plants. You know how it is, you know, you've got to constantly be grinding in this game. And not the type of grinding that your mum does on a weekend against some random man. We then made our way to the teleportation tower and realised that we were only 2 whatever they call bright wires away. So we grabbed them, put it into it, and now we could fast travel back and forth. We also found an amber chunk, which is like cool, you know, money. Sold that, obviously, because we want the money. The plan is to have $1 million in the bank so that we can get the bloke who comes on the boat in the rainy days, so we can sell the stacks of 50 to make big money. We also grabbed a bunch of stuff and took them to Theodore. That helps us fill up the museum even more. As I've said, my plan isn't to have the full museum. I'm not really too bothered. I don't want to have the journal full. It's just more, you know, I'm getting license points and it is something fun to do. It was getting late, you know, we needed to water the crops and we was like, bird coop. God, we forgot about it. So we quickly put it in, placed down the tube, got the food ready, and then we will eventually expand this and make it look better, but right now it was too late for us to do that. Next day we made a scythe because I had a feeling that soon our crops were going to be ready. Sadly they weren't ready today, but it was raining, so that meant we didn't actually have to water them ourselves. So we made some brews, made some jams, and had a look to see if anything was ready at all, but it just wasn't. Then we got the deed for the bank. This is a huge step for us. It is going to be good. So we quickly got that place down, meaning now that we can actually get everything in and get it ready, we can soon start storing our money in the bank and earning interest, as well as, you know, just it's better than having it on us if we keep getting knocked out or anything like that. So obviously I had to go out and get the resources. We needed wood, we needed copper, you know, we needed everything pretty much. So we went out and got as much as we could. This did take us nearly all day. I mean, it's what happens sometimes. I'm pretty bad at just not having a constant supply of materials in, you know, in my storage boxes. I kind of just go, yeah, it'll be right. The next day we had someone new visiting, but you know, first we had to get some nails crafted and get ourselves some more fences, because obviously we needed the chook area to be up to scratch, because I ain't having my babies, you know, living in Swallow. But then I made gates instead of fences, and I was like, for God's sake, what am I going to do with 7 fences? I mean, gates. Who knows? Who knows? Ridiculous. Anyway, we cleared the area out and started placing down some fences. Obviously, we want them to have a decent sized area, but they don't need too much to the point where, you know, it's going to come like hard work to maintain and taking time from our other animals, which we will eventually have. Once that was done, we saw that we had our first pumpkin. Boom. Farming completed it, mate. Anyway, we still had to carry on watering the rest of our crops because, you know, farmers don't sleep. Honestly, if this is how they have to do it, like real life, like years ago, by hand, I feel for them. Anyway, we accepted a job for an alpha croc. We went out, you know, on our way there, we was like, yeah, we'll do it, we'll get some stuff, and I just never ended up doing the alpha croc. Don't know why. But anyway, sugarcane ready to harvest. Do you know why that's good? Because then we can make that into sugar. And do you know why that's good? We can sell that for more money. Also, it's going to level up our farming, meaning we can get like copper scythe, copper hoe, copper like watering can, and it does like a free like block area. And then also, if we keep leveling it up, eventually we're going to be able to get like sprinklers, so we don't even have to water it ourselves. So it's going to make life so much easier. Anyway, we got a mine pass. Went down into the mine. We were very low on resources. Today was pretty much like, let's just focus on getting resources, focus on getting ores. You know, we'll do a few treasure rooms if we find them, but the main focus wasn't to just go and, you know, try and get as many rubies or kill bats or, you know, whatever else. The main focus on this was, let's get resources, because we are so low on ores. And we did a really good job, to be fair. You can see how much we got just from here. I mean, look at that level mining. We have dedicated a lot of time into mining within these first, you know, 40 to 50 days. But also, farming's leveling up. I mean, we're doing good. The next day, we head out to see that we've actually got something from Flex letting us know that we've got a new level of farming. We do that, we now get the access to, like, copper supplies, and then we see that Erwin was here. Do a quick job for him before buying another chook. This time, I've called it Anakin, another one of my cats. Picture on the screen, he's cute, he's an angel, he's my boy. After doing that, we spoke to Erwin again, and he said, you know what, I want to stay. So now we had access to being able to build his shop at some point. We then got the rest of our pumpkins and then started putting our sugar into our machines and getting a bunch of like sugar from it, also weighing in our rubies and earning quite a decent amount of money. We bought ourselves another furnace and decided to put 150k into the bank. We then spoke to Franklin and he said, because, you know, you've been repairing towers, we can build a telepad that can be placed in the middle of town. And I was like, yeah, sound. I want a weather station, because I've been realising, again, this is a new update thing, you now get meteors and they sell for a lot of money, so I've missed out potentially on, you know, millions of dinks by not having, you know, the weather station at this point. We then spend a bit of time making our new farming equipment before making ourselves a keg as well as a new spear. With this keg, it's like a billy can kit, but you can place in like your already teas or your like jelly blobs, I don't know really, from the jellyfish, like, I don't know, the little sacks. And with that, you can make like better teas. We then go to rain and we actually get ourselves some rice. Again, first time doing the rice, I was a little bit confused, but then we got a bunch of corn and thought, you know what, we'll go for some corn. Planted that all down, and we had like a couple of spots, and we was like, oh, I'll throw something random what we had left over. And I mean, obviously it's not to scale as our previous one, but it's still quite good, really. Then we make another bird coop because, you know, I can't see my babies going without a house. We then got to work. I mean, like, I say got to work, really, it was just placing it down. I mean, this rice is easy, you don't have to do anything, but like Erwin's watering the water. I mean, come on now, come on. And then just before we went to bed, we placed down Anakin just so he at least gets to sleep in an actual like bird coop instead of a box all night. The next day, Franklin gives us our weather station. I mean, it's like a weather pole. But anyway, we've now got that. We had a few more pumpkins good to go, and we placed that down to see no meteor shower just yet. Put some money in the bank and then give some shiny discs to Franklin. Obviously, it's just easy money at this point. We want to try build up. We need to get as much as possible. We sell a bunch of random stuff to John, just shy of 15k. We can't complain. We head out. I don't even know what you'd call this no more, because it's not metal detecting. I mean, we're just looking for X's. I'm like a psycho going through someone's phone just looking for X's. We do a bit of fishing because we saw 2 like fishes that were worth a bit of money. And then our apple trees were ready to be harvested, and I thought, I ain't gonna like these apples. It is kind of easy money, but we do plant some more down in the future. We then head out on a boat, and we thought, you know what, let's do a bit of boat fishing, hoping to find something, you know, are we gonna find like an expensive fish? In reality, we don't. I mean, we get like a decent bit of money worth of fish, but I wouldn't really say it's anything crazy. Some people make out fishing in Dinkum is like the way to make money. Personally, I don't think it is. I think there's, you know, much better ways to do it. Then obviously you have to go water our crops because, you know, you can't do it itself. And then we plant down the rest of our apple trees. I mean, I think we plant down like another 20. We just kind of fill the area out. It's good. We're making like apple jam. We're also, once we get stacks of 50 and the bloke comes on the boat, we can sell them all. And things are just going to go well for us because we're going to be making money. As we are coming up to the halfway point, I do hope you are still all enjoying this. If you are, do make sure to like, comment, make sure you subscribe. I mean, I know a lot of you probably aren't. And, you know, we're looking to hit that 2k mark. We're very close. We want to hit it by the end of the year. It would be amazing. But as that day ended, as you can see, we did an alright amount of fishing for the day. You know, we're going to level it up. We can potentially get crab pots at some point. That is good. We then go to Clover. We then sell her one of our fish for a job and then go to the bank to see how much like interest we got. And it's like, you know, a couple hundred. It'll all add up. We put a bit more money in the bank, sell all our fish to John. It's not great, but it's not terrible. We also had like our pumpkins and that, so we sold them, and it's, you know, decent bit of money, and then we put another 100k into the bank just to build it up. Then obviously we had to do a little bit of animal care because, you know, these babies need love. We can't just, you know, forget about them. I mean, oh, look at Anakin, he's a little baby. Then we're back out, getting wattle flowers, bush limes, and we turned out we could actually like break the plants and get wattle seeds, which again I didn't know, and it's just going to make it easier when we have them closer to home, so then we're not always having to run out to get them. And every time we see like an X, we're going to dig it. We're acting like it's Throwback Thursday. We are going for the X's at this point. To be fair, we do get quite lucky. We're able to find 2 amber chunks, and usually I'm quite bad at finding these. And then we even get an opal, so that's like big money for us. I think altogether it's nearly like 100k, just from a simple time of going around, you know, looking for X's. We also decided to place a few flowers down and even plant down our wattle flowers, which are like, again, you know, they're going to make us brews. Eventually they are going to make us money, so you got to think, you know, a bit of a long run for this. We then go and get the commerce license, or the commerce license, however you're going to say it, an extra 5% when you sell stuff. It is worth it. And then we got to go take care of the crops. I mean, wait until we get sprinklers. We're going to be good, you know, we're going to have to do nothing. Again, checking the weather forecast, no meteor shower, but there is an alpha croco, so we decide to accept that before putting 100k into the bank. And on the way, I mean, we found a few barrels, quickly break them, you never know, we might get something useful, but we make our way to the alpha croco, and Easy work really, they're not too difficult to deal with. Couple hits, jump, play it like you're playing Elden Ring, but obviously it's a lot easier. And I am not maidenless. But we take down the Alpha Croco, and then on the way back we do a bit of mining. You know, we might find a fossil, we might find something useful, you never know. It's always worth just doing it whilst you're going. We grab a few flowers, place them down, you know, a bit of vegetation is going to make this place look even better. We then go and check on our animals. Obviously, now that Anakin is fully grown, he's going to start producing eggs just as the other one, so we're now at 3 eggs a day. We then go and give 5 shiny discs to Franklin for some extra money, before going to buy a mine pass because, you know, it's 1 PM, we haven't really got much else to do, and we're like, you know what, let's just go get some ores. If we're lucky, we find a few gems, we'll see what happens. And for some reason we got really unlucky. I think we found literally 1 ruby the whole time we were there. I mean, that was a pretty cool kill of the bats, but still, we got a bunch of ores, we found a couple of treasure rooms, but I was hoping to find like a bunch of rubies, but we just didn't. But we decided to put it into the machine, get the shards out of it, so we can go to the undergrowth at some point. We're still going, making our wattle tea, our jams, making our sugar. I mean, it's taken a while, but we are going to slowly get there. We even carry on watering our crops, even though it rains there, but she's not doing a good job. The next day, someone new is visiting the island, and it's Sally. She's like a hairdresser. Again, I'm not that interested in this stuff, but we decide to change the colour of our hair, just spend a bit of money, so eventually she will be able to stay, because we do want to try and get all the villagers before the end of the 100 days. We then go to Franklin and let him know that the Alpha Croc was taken care of, and he gave us 27,000 dinks. We then saw another big fish and thought, you know what, let's go for it. But this one was actually quite difficult to catch, so I just don't know if I just, you know, had no luck at this point. But it actually took me quite a while to get a yellowfin tuna. We then went out and looking for some mushrooms for Sally. Lucky enough, we already had some in our box, so we just gave her it and was like, yeah, sweet, here you go. And I mean, I was hoping for something good, but we'll take 11k. We then pay off 84,000 of the town debt. And then realising we had fish to sell, so we sell that, and then go back and pay off the rest of the debt, meaning now we could actually place down Irwin's store. So all we have to do is get the deed for that and find a good place to place it. This is going to put us another 150k in debt, but that's something we can deal with. But then we got the license for the handling level 2, meaning we can now get wombats. But anyway, we found a decent place to place down Irwin's store, and then we get going with the materials. It doesn't take us too long to get everything because we do have a lot of this stuff lying around already. So it was mainly just getting the planks ready with the gunwood and then placing it all in. Obviously, if we were going to expand our area and get better animals, we did need to improve our animal area that is currently there. So we move a bit of dirt, chop down some trees so we can actually get some wood to make some more fences. And also we are going to need to place them down, place down some more paths, because at the minute the path isn't leading to Irwin's shop, or is it even leading to the concrete area, or sort of you know, fully connecting to anything. Obviously we need to place down a few more lights because we need the place looking good, lit up when it's dark. And you know, just because we're expanding, you know, there's construction going on, we're still trying to make the place look livable. Sadly, we were just short by, you know, enough paths to actually get it to the shop. But, you know, we can, you know, sort that out at another time. We then placed down a few stairs just to make getting to the animal area a lot easier before placing down a few more plants and some flowers, making the place look nice. We then quickly made a few more flooring tiles just so we could actually expand the path even further. Again, we were still a few short. We weren't able to get it right to the stairs and up, but it still looks good and it will do for now. This is where we call it a day because it was getting late, but the next day we make sure to grab our sugar and we get straight back to the grind. We accept a job for an alpha bush devil and we actually decided to head out to go get some coconuts because we thought, you know what, let's get a few coconut trees planted around our little village we've got going on. Coconuts, nice and easy to find. You kind of just got to go to one of the little islands that are sort of in the sea and you can go and get a decent amount just from the trees. They're easy enough to plant, you place them down, put the dirt back on top and they are planted. They take probably about a week to grow and then start having coconuts on. But anyway, we go to do the alpha bush devil. Again, very simple. You know, a few hits, move, jump about, and even the other bush devils wanted to get involved and try and scrap him as well. But once he was weak, he was trying to swim away, but you know what, we got to him and we took him out. The prime meat it's good, you know, it's worth it, as well as the dinks we get from it. But anyway, we teleport back, and then we do let Fletch know we took care of the alpha bush devil. We decided to cook up the meat. I don't actually know why. We just thought, you know what, let's cook some meat. And then we thought, you know what, let's make an animal stall, just so when we can get wombats, we are ready to go. And then we start working on our area. Obviously, we had dirt we wanted to move, we wanted to expand it a little bit, and without having the compactor, we just had to do the old shovel and move it and place it down and then repeat over and over again. Once that was done, we were able to place down some fencing. Obviously, we want to make sure it's enclosed so the animal can't escape, and then we placed down the stall. Placing down another stairs just so we can make our way in, and then we needed a couple more cement paths just to link it up to what we currently have with our wooden paths. So overall, the whole place is now linked from the quarry to the buildings, and it is looking good. Day 51. I mean, we're already here. Time is flying for us. Clover came to visit. She's always asking for something ridiculous, and I'm like, nah, ain't happening. After speaking with her, we decided to go check the weather, and again, no meteor shower yet, I just have zero luck. Then we carry on by proceeding to feed the animals. I mean, it's a daily thing, feeding these animals, caring for them, stroking them, making sure they're clean. But at the end of the day, once they grow and you're getting daily eggs, it works out well. We then grabbed some pumpkins that grew and then went round grabbing some bananas off our trees, and then I wanted to get some jelly to try and make the jelly brew for the first time. And you know, we was only a couple short, so we grabbed them, sold a bunch of stuff. You know, 23k, you can't go wrong. And at this point I was like, I haven't really got out planned for the day, so let's just go to the deep mine. And you know what? We'll see what happens. We'll even go to the undergrowth. Let's spice things up. Yeah, this was a really bad mistake. This was a really bad day. I mean, I grabbed a bunch of flowers because, you know, I want to make the place look nice. But yeah, I didn't survive for long before getting knocked out. And then we actually found the treasure room, and I was like, yeah, this is great. And we were getting attacked again, and yeah, things were not going great for us. But we did eventually make it back and was able to grab a few things. We even got ourselves a blueprint, but at this point our spear was broken, our pickaxe was nearly broken. There was literally nothing we could do except from run around, hope to find treasure rooms, and, you know, kind of finesse the enemy by running around in circles, but things didn't go too well. I mean, we found a copper sprinkler. It's going to save me a little bit of time making one, but I mean, I can't even use it right now, so again, yeah, bad day altogether. I mean, we didn't give up. You know, we tried our best to get in there and try and grab as much loot as possible. I mean, what we found, we've paid for our mine pass, but the amount of money we've lost from getting knocked out and the fact that we've lost all our equipment, it just wasn't worth it. I would have, you know, it would have been better if I just spent the day sat at home. But the stone lanterns that we did find, we did start to place around the path a little bit more, and then we placed down some of our new flowers to try and make the place look a little bit better. I mean, it's coming along, the town is starting to look nice, and we even placed down a dog statue, and then we had a frilly statue that we placed here for now, but we do eventually move next to the museum because it was a bad place. We sold both our opals to get the money back for our mine pass, and then obviously we realised we had to water our crops still, and then we called it a day. The next day, our trees were ready to be harvested of all the quandongs, the cactus figs, and the apples, and at this point, the amount of apples we were getting was not bad. I mean, once all the trees are grown, you do end up getting about 150 apples. So we've been quite smart. Check the weather. What do you think? No meteor shower. My wife is playing this currently. Yeah, she had 3 meteor showers in a row. Like, how? Anyway, animal care, you gotta do it. You gotta look after them. Look at them. They're so cute. Then we spoke to John, and it turns out it's his birthday. So we was like, oh shit, here's a pumpkin. And bro was like, this is the best present I've ever got, you know, like, wow. And I think John's been abused. But anyway, we watered some crops, and it turns out we've watered that many. We got some license points, and then we got ourselves another chook, and this time we've called it Bella. Again, named after another animal of mine, but sadly this is one of my dogs that has passed away in the past. But we placed her down and the food down before having to do the bird coop. Doesn't take us long to get all the ingredients to get that made. We get everything crafting. We also decided just to sell a bunch of stuff we had on our chest that was taking up space. We got 208k. It's not a crazy amount, but it's better than nothing. And our goal is to get 1 million in the bank, just so we can get Jimmy to come when it's raining, so we can sell him like stuff in bulk. We want to also make ourselves a cooking table, because we're like, you know what, people are asking for food a lot. Let's try and expand the area. We then decide, because it is, now towards the end of autumn, is it worth us going round looking to see if there's any new bugs we've got before we get into winter, so then we don't have to come back to autumn if we want to fill the museum at a later date. And obviously, whilst running around, it gives us a good situation to like grab the wattle flowers, apples, anything we can do. So we do spend the night doing that before calling it a day. But as you can see, we did capture quite a lot. We did quite a good job there. Next day, we looked at the notice board. There was a couple quests on there. We grabbed them, nice and easy. Alpha Bush Devil, never turn it down. It is easy money. Then we donate all the bugs that have not been currently put into the museum, and we get a few license points. I mean, it all adds up. But then we just sell the rest, and I mean, 17k, they don't sell for out, do they? But as you can see, we're about 280k away from getting our million. So we finish up the jobs that we need to do, and then we notice that our rice is ready. We don't harvest it yet. We go and give a tin sheet to Fletch, and then we do need, obviously, to get our scythe. But we quickly go and speak to John and say, we've done your paths, give us all that money. And I mean, it was really easy, to make, but 5k? Oof. We then find ourselves at the Alpha Bush Devil. Easy enough to take down now. I mean, you've seen me take down multiple alphas. I mean, not all of them have been a great success, but that one was quite good. And when we was out, we saw another bug we've not got, broke a few things, and then spoke to Rain and said, we've done the Alpha Bush Devil, we'll take some money. We then decided to buy some corn, because yeah, we are trying to save up, but at the same time, we still need to be able to keep, having our crops grow. So we plant that down next to the crops that we've already got, hoping that these will grow nice and quick. It's kind of satisfying running around planting all these. Then we go and harvest our rice for the first time. So this is the first time we've ever had rice, in the game altogether. Didn't even know it was a thing. And we were lucky enough to get exactly 50. And it turns out you can put these into the billy cans and make cooked rice, which doubles the value. So our plan is to go around and, cook all our rice. It doesn't take that long, maybe about 15 seconds for the rice. So every now and again we pop back, do it. Then we go see Erwin and see that he's actually got a Vombat finally. So we buy that, give it the default name, decided not to call it anything cool, and we've been waiting for a Vombat to come in, so we place it down and it's already got a house ready to go. We then decide to water our crops because we kind of didn't, and then we call it a day. Kind of not the busiest of days, but next day, Alpha Jackaroo, we're getting 18k, we got 33 for a Bush Devil the day before. But first thing in the morning, we are petting our animals, even though these pumpkins, we've had them for weeks, it feels like. They're still giving us more pumpkins, so things are still going good for us. We kind of make quick work of this Jackaroo. This was the first Jackaroo I think we've dealt with, and it was awkward to try figure out when to jump and when not to jump, but we managed to get there again. Not much difficulty in it, and on the way back, we're always grabbing bugs to just see if there's anything we can do. But we finished this job for Fletch, and she gives us the money. Then obviously we are farming again. But if we keep leveling up our farming skill as quick as we are, it won't be long before we're actually able to make sprinklers and place the sprinklers. Then all we'll have to do is just plant the seeds, and it'll make nice quick work. But we decided, let's go into the deep mine again. But this time we are going to go just into the normal deep mine. We're not going to go to the undergrowth, and the plan is to just get as much money as possible. And we thought, you know what, let's try and get some of the deep fish, because I heard that they were selling for 15k each. Also, we reached the end of the map. Didn't even know that was a thing. So we looked for rubies, we got some deep fish, we tried to get as much money as possible because we were still kind of close to our goal of a 1 million in the bank. Obviously, we have to show these Bush Devils who is the boss. I think we got 4 deep fish, so we got 3 to sell, 1 for the museum. Overall, not a bad situation, but we went to bed, and as you can see, we did an alright job. At this point, my wife was watching me play and told me off for not using the shiny stones in the grinder, so I did that before selling all my rubies, and we actually got a decent amount for each one, and we made a lot more than we actually needed to actually fill up the bank to the 1 million mark. So after selling everything to John, we went to the bank, put our money in, and boom, 1 million. Just like that, we are a single millionaire. Then we had the next job to get an onion, so we could give it to make a... I don't really get how we got, you give it an onion and it makes a croco skewer, but you know what it does, and it's John as well, so we actually just buy the onion from John and then get the croco skewer, so yeah. Anyway, then the corn was ready to harvest, and if you've played Dinkum, you're probably looking like, what an idiot, what was he doing? Yeah, I was chopping down the corn without realising that you can just harvest it and it carries on growing again, and Yeah, I kind of messed up, alright? My bad. We then give our deep fish to Theodore at the museum before petting our animals. And today with it raining, we don't have to water the crops. Then we decided to go out. And we were like, you know what, let's chop down some of these hardwood trees, hoping for a beehive. And then we can break the beehive and get a queen bee. With that, we can get honey through having like a beehive. At the first one, we didn't get a queen bee. It was a bit strange, but the second one we did, as well as getting like 2 honey from it. And we actually managed to get 2 queen bees, so it means 2 beehives for us. As you can see, like, our inventory was quite full, but you know what? We donated the bees to Theodore, and then we decided to have a look at actually what we are missing. And I would say we're kind of close, you know. We're not too far away. Again, it's not an active goal to actually fill the museum. It's just the license points are really useful. But at this point, we decide to make ourselves a couple of beehives, and we actually got an opal through grinding shiny stone, so maybe I should listen to my wife more. But we make the bee houses, and then we decided to chop some more wood because we wanted to make some more flooring to make sort of a new, like, cookie, foodie area next to our sort of other areas so far in the village. But that would be done on the next day, as we called it, a night, before placing down a path to our teleporter, because, again, I kind of want the place to look good. You know, I kind of enjoy doing this. I think it's one of the more funner things for me to do. Funner? Fun? Funnest? Is that a word? Funner? I don't think it's a word. But anyway, this is where we decided to make our new cookie area. We placed down the cooking table, the barrels, you know, the bee houses. This is where this stuff is going to be. You get it? Bee house, bee. But then we decided to place the path up to the animal area as well, so we got that finished before getting ourselves the fishing license level 3 so we can get crab pots. And then we got the animal processing so we could actually turn milk into like cheese and that sort of stuff. You know, again, we're going to make us money. You got to trust the process, alright? Trust it. But anyway, we get some smelting going so we can make ourselves a bunch of crab pots. I still don't know how to work crab pots. I mean, I had this issue originally. I placed them in the water and I was like, okay, and then turns out you got to bait them, and I did that and it just doesn't work. But anyway, we bought 100 rice because we're going to plant 100 because money. But anyway, at this point we're like, you know what, now we've got a mill in the bank, we're just waiting for Jimmy to arrive. So let's start being smart and getting our stacks of 50 of items. So we cook a bunch of cactus figs, cook a bunch of apples, we've already got our cooked rice, you know. We're at this point where we're getting ready to like sell a bunch of stuff. Then we decided it was time to plant our rice just because we want it to grow as quick as possible. And I'm pretty sure rice grows all year round. We haven't got to worry about seasons with this because, as you can see, we are 1 day away from it being winter. But we placed down all 100 rice and we're at the point where it's like nearly taken up the whole bit of water there. So that's quite cool. First day of winter and Sheila is here. I mean, Sheila is good. You can make a lot of money with Sheila and you can get some good food. But to get her to stay, she asks for the most ridiculous items, and it's always impossible. But anyway, as you can see, we decided to bait our crab-like traps, and I was like, right, yeah, we're going to finally get it to work. It didn't. But we bought carrot seeds, 50 of them, and we planted them down, and again, working smart. Buy stacks of 50, because I'm pretty sure you get like 3 carrots from each one. So then we're going to get like 150 there. Cash money, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, we have to water them because, you know, they don't do them themselves. Then we thought, you know what, we're now in winter. Let's spend the first day going round, grabbing stuff out the sea, you know, fishing, capturing stuff. Let's try and get anything we can for the museum. We didn't manage to get loads, but we got a few useful items. We then go to Theodore and hand all of them in. He's obviously buzzing. He's like, this is the best day ever. But you know what, I'm here for the license points because obviously we've got to get these scammy license points, and the only person that can, you know, give out licenses is Fletch. How, you know, what a coincidence. Even though pumpkins don't grow in winter, we're still getting pumpkins growing, so I'm not going to lie, these have been very good for us. But we was like an apple short from having a stack of 50, so we quickly went and grabbed an apple and cooked it, and then we sold a bunch of stuff to John, and as you can see, look, we were like, where's our crabs? Where are they? They weren't there. But we went around petting the animals. Again, animal care, it's a daily thing. It's something you've got to do. I mean, at some point, I would like it if the villagers kind of took care of the animals a bit. And, you know, I'm not talking like sometimes they just go and pet. They won't feed. Annoying. But at this point, our trees are ready to harvest again. And as you can see, we get quite a lot of apples at this point. And this is where we get, I think, like 157 apples. Like, It is a ridiculous amount of apples. So we spend a bit of time cooking all of them, getting them ready because, you know, we never know when Jimmy's going to rock up. Usually has to be raining, but I believe it has to be raining at the start of the day. We also found a beetle that's named after your creepy uncle, the fiddler beetle. Obviously, Theodore wanted it, so we gave it to her before cooking some eggs, so we can actually make fried eggs. And again, when you cook stuff, they usually kind of double in value. I mean, it won't be like crazy. It might be like, they'll be worth like 100 now or 200, but in stacks of 50, you do get quite a lot. We then place down the cheese maker so we can put our milk in and make ourselves some cheese for the first time. We then call it a night. I think why I struggle with winter, I don't always look at the time, and then I think it's later than it is. So if you're thinking, oh, he's calling the day early, I'm probably mistaking the time. But as we can see, Jimmy is here, and we decided to hop on the boat and boat all the way. And yeah, this was a mistake. Turns out you can break your boat and just, you know, go through the portal. But we go to Jimmy, and we give him our stacks of 50, and you ready for it? Boom. Nearly 500,000 dinks. We have a look at the few items that he has in there that we've never seen before. That key scrapper looks really good. But I mean, other than that, nothing's really screaming out to me like, this is what you need. Grab it. So this time, we take our boat to the closest island before breaking it, and then just going back through our teleporter. So yeah, I kind of wish I knew this before having to like boat all the way, or even just getting a jet ski. They're so much better. We then go to Franklin, decide we want ourselves a repair table because, you know what, we don't need to be making tools every single time. You know, if we can just, you know, make them once and then constantly repair them, things are going to be a lot easier for us. So we quickly go to him and get that ready to go. Obviously, it is going to take the night for him to make it, but that is no worry because we're not really in a rush. We then get another Vombat, and I decide to call it after my wife, Connie. So obviously we go and place her down, but obviously we do need to build her a hut, and we will do that at some point. We're not going to leave her out in the cold. First things first, we make sure she's got food. We then proceed to start making the animal stall. Obviously we need nails, we need just the planks, just the standard stuff. A lot of these are really simple to make once you get to this point in the game because you usually have everything lying around already. This is where we decide we want to move our house and we need a new area for it. We also need a better area for sort of our crafting and our storage. So we decide to start like sort of smoothing this area out, placing down some steps and just making it overall a better area. I think where the house was originally was a good idea if we were going to stay around that area, but everything else has been built at a distance. We then quickly go and do our job for John whilst we remember because, you know, easy. You get license points, you know, you build relationships, but also we needed to go to the shop and buy a furnace and a stone grinder anyway. We then pay off the town debt so that we could actually pay to upgrade our house the next day, meaning then, once the house is upgraded, we can actually move it because you can't move it when it's a 10, which is a bit of a pain in the ass, but you know what, I get it. But before we do any of that, we need some more flooring. Obviously, I like the paths. We've been using the palm wood. It sort of fits the beachy vibe that we're going for around here. We placed that down, and I think the area looks really nice. We placed down our furnaces. We place down all our benches and everything that we've got going. We then speak to Fletch and say, I want to actually upgrade the house. It's 95k, but it'll do. We then get ourselves a new vehicle license because in the future I do want the vehicles. We get all the, you know, the stuff we need for the house. I ain't gonna lie, it's really simple stuff. Again, we had it all just lying around. So we place that in, and the next day our house will be ready to go. But overall, I think we've done a decent job in this new area. The house will be built like just above, so it's not too bad. We end the day by accepting another job and watering the rest of our plants. And with that, that was it. So here we are on day 61. Time has been going quick, and as you can see, boom, we've no longer got a tent. We've now got an actual house. I mean, things are going well. We had Sheila visit in, we spoke to her. She was like, you know what, do you reckon you can make me a mushroom soup? And it was like, you just need one of each mushroom. I was like, yeah, I can do that. I mean, I've got to have that. Yeah, I messed up. I didn't have that. But anyway, we spoke to Fletch and said, look, we need to move a building. Can we move the visitor's deed? And she's like, yeah, go for it. Just, you know, it's going to cost 25 grand. Like, she is ripping us off. But anyway, we then decided to harvest our corn, and I kept accidentally speaking to Rain, and I was like, I'm going to lose my mind. But it's okay. Check the weather station, still no meteorite. Then we looked and saw that we were missing a slippery jack. And also we now get the night market. Very good. So anyway, we decided we needed to go out and find this because with like Sheila and that, we've made no progress. And whilst out, we're going to collect other stuff, apples, beetles, whatever we need. We're going to need to try and find anything we can. As well, obviously, if we see an X, we're going to mine it. We might get an amber chunk. We might get a relic. We might get something good. But after being out for quite a while, we did not find anything. We then quickly went to Rain and gave her a tin sheet, which she gave us 2 tin bars for, which is just an easy job for her. Then we decided to start cooking some apples, just in case, Jimmy was going to show up and we needed to sell our stuff and make some money. We then decided to move our crab pots because apparently I've been putting them in the wrong place. I am not as smart as I thought. But then we decided to put some lights down, get some wood ready, and clear out our new area for where our house is going to go once we get the deed to move it. So we slept and called it a day and had a look to see that Jimmy was here, so we made our way over to the boat and got ready to sell him some stuff. Overall, it was an alright amount of money, 87 grand, and I mean, it's minimal work really. We'll take it, we'll pay off the town debt, and now we said we wanted to move our house. And again, 25 grand, but you know what? I don't mind. We then put on the fortuitous wish. I mean, I've been kind of like slagging at this off this whole time. I'm like wishing well, big L. Yeah, then my wife was like, you're an idiot. She got 3 meteor showers in a row by having that wish on. So, yeah, we've now got a wish on. Let's hope it's good. But we moved our house, as you can see, and we're now making a path going up to it. And we also put some stuff into our crab pots and actually got some stuff out of it for once. And thought, you know what, let's make some more. Because, we're getting some good stuff. And then this is where we was kind of like, you know what, we need to be smart. We need to also kind of like have a chest near our furnaces. I'm kind of thinking this is the time where we need to kind of focus a little bit on some sort of inventory management, a storage sort of thing. Because we were not doing well. After taking care of the animals, we got into some fishing. Whilst we're still in winter, we may as well, go around and see if we can collect any fish that we've missed or any bugs. So I keep doing that quite often. And, yeah, as you can see, I decided to go on a wary moo hunt. I don't even know why. I don't remember why until this bloody rolling thing decided to take me out. So yeah, I lost money and, ended the day. But it's alright. Melvin was visiting and I woke up really confused, like, where's my house? Turns out, yeah, they moved my house. But it's alright, because my carrots were done. And I forgot, each carrot actually gives you 3. So we've actually going to have like a ridiculous amount of carrots here. We accept a job off Franklin for the Alpha Bush Devil, easy money. And then we speak to Melvin and he's like, yeah, I want your bluefish. I'm like, you can have it, mate. Go to our crab pots and see what we get. And as you can see, we're getting like crocodile teeth, we're getting old keys. I'm always running out of old keys, and until we can buy the key recycler, which is like 700k, I'm not doing it. But again, once we sold everything to Jimmy, 140k, we are in the money. We then made our way to the Alpha Bush Devil, and I mean, come on now, old news, we can take these alphas down. We don't really struggle anymore. I mean, the start of the game, it is difficult. I mean, the hardest part is I kind of used all my energy and then I had to chase him. That took a while, but other than that, the Alpha Bush Devils are just easy now. And we decided we was going to cook all our meat because it was Saturday and we was like, you know what, I'm pretty sure you can find Ted Selly on Saturdays. Yeah, it turns out you I don't know, maybe you can, or I just got really unlucky, or you can't. Like, I was walking around all night for ages. I was literally looking around everywhere, could not find this man. Could not find him. I was listening for his whistle. It never happened. So about 11 p.m, we called it a night. The next day, we're like, Theodore, bro, what have you not got? We have a look and he hasn't got a tiger prawn, so we do give him that quite quick. And then this is where I was like, you know what, let's start placing some chests down. Let's sort of maybe start in our area out. I mean, we found this ice sculpture table from breaking like a snow block, so you can't go, can't go wrong with that. And then we went to our trees to go get all of our fruit. Again, this has probably been one of the best ideas for me. We then got the farming level 3 license, meaning we can get the iron hoe and the iron watering can. And then we told Flex we want to move the town hall. And we found a place for it just behind the bank. Our rice was done and it needed harvesting. And again, we planted like 100 this time. And, we're doing quite well. We cook it, we sell it, we make a decent amount of money. Also, it's leveling up our farming, which is always going to help us. Then, of course, we look after the animals again. You can't go a day without looking after the animals or even farming. I mean, I say farming, we're just watering crops, but I mean, it's an everyday thing. And then we spent the rest of this Sunday just moving stuff around, sorting out like sort of our inventory, our storage, and then we called it a day. Sundays are a bit useless sometimes. Clover came to visit this Monday, and then we said, "You need a job?" She was like, "You know what? I could do with some sticks." Boom. You see that? Meteor shower. Things are going to go great. We sell all our fish and our inventory that we didn't need. Decent amount of money. We go to Franklin. We get the money for the Alpha Bush Devil. You know, we're thinking this is going to be a good day. Things are going well. Things are being productive. We buy a repair kit so we don't have to make new like tools and that. We repair all our tools. This is when we go out. We get the mangrove sticks because we're on top of it. We're being productive. Everything's going great. We go give it to Clover. You know, hopefully she'll come stay soon. That'd be good to get maybe, you know, all the villagers before the end of the 100 days. We make ourselves an iron hoe. I mean, at this point, I felt like we were on a roll. I thought, you know what, nothing could stop me. I even decided to, like, massively, like, increase our farming area. We decided to actually fill it up, like, the whole way. And actually to get kale, get some carrots and plant it all down. But as you can see, we're going to need quite a lot. And we actually have to make 3 or 4 trips back because we kept running out and I thought we bought enough. So for some reason we only went for 50 kale and I think we ended up with like 130 carrot seeds altogether, which isn't bad, but that just shows, you know, the massive area we're going to have to, you know, water. So when sprinklers come or if we've got rain, you know, it's going to be alright. But when we get these sprinklers and we get them sorted, things are going to go well. And I do want to say, if you're still watching, you're still enjoying this, do make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. We are trying to hit 2k subscribers by the end of 2025. You know, we're doing alright so far, but we can get there. But anyway, we spend the rest of the night cooking rice. Then this is where a mistake happened, because we call it a night, I called it a day, and you might notice we've got the meteor, you know, milestone, and you've got more gems, and we're now on a Thursday, and we were on a Monday. Like, what happened to Tuesday and Wednesday, and how have you got so much money in the bank? Yeah, I didn't hit record. Well, I did, but my Stream Deck just didn't, like, count it on my OBS. So we missed 2 whole days. We got a meteor shower. We went to the deep mine, and through the day we got like 6 gems. We went through. We went, you know, we did really well. Got loads of resources. First meteor shower, sold that for like 600k. Got a jet ski made. Like, I don't know. I messed up big time, and I'm really sorry that our first meteor shower, I couldn't even capture it. Like, we wait this long for a meteor shower, and I mess up. I mean, we just fell through the map. I don't know if you noticed that, but yeah. But yeah, I messed up big time. But don't worry, hopefully we're going to get a lot more. But I mean, we pretty much put all the money into the bank, as you can see. You know, we're nearly at 2 million in the bank, things going well. We then decide that we're going to get the town bell built because my wife has it in her world, and it actually seems useful when you struggle to find like one of the NPCs. You can ring it, it'll show you where they are. But at this point, I had an opal, I sold it, and then I put the town hall down, and then realised I need one, and I was like, ugh. But yeah, we traded our hat. You know, we've gone better now. We've now got a top hat. It's because we've got money. We are posh. We're like a proper gentleman. Wait until you see it. Ready for it? Oh, yeah. Look at that. I mean, it's a little bit small. Melvin must have shrunk it, but it's all right. But obviously, we looked after the animals. You know, you got to keep doing it. And then we obviously had an alpha croco to deal with. Again, boom, not difficult. But before we go and do that, we put the rest of our money in the bank. So we're now at 2 million, as well as an extra 1,000 license points. We use our jet ski, go out to the alpha croco. I mean, again, really simple. I'd probably say these are one of the better ones. I'd say probably the kangaroos are the worst ones. But whilst we were out, we decided to just, you know, gather a bunch of stuff, go in the water, see what we can find, get our fruit. We decided we're going to get a bunch of shells, hoping that we can sell them to Jimmy for, like, a decent bit of money. You never know. It might work. It might not. I mean, it makes it quite simple. We run round, we grab what we can, and then we head home. And I mean, really, it's not a bad day. You know, you spend the day at least gathering stuff, and at night, our little town's looking cool. But we call it there, and we're on to day 69. Yeah, it's a funny number. Today, I mean, we didn't do much. Making milk, our kale was ready to harvest, so we just grabbed that. But all we ended up doing was putting it in a chest, ready for when Jimmy comes to visit. We kind of just got a chest ready for stuff to sell. We then speak to Theodore and let him know that we took care of the Alpha Croco for him, so we get the money for that. And I'm kind of at the point now where, like, we've got money, but we haven't got enough to be doing anything too crazy, so we need to bring more money in, and ideally we just need to keep getting the rest of the villages in and unlocking more stuff. So we're at that sort of like part where it's like, you know, we're kind of stuck until we make a little bit more progress, but progress is slow. But we will get there in the end. And somehow our trees are ready again. I feel like this was really quick. I mean, we're getting through this quick. But I've decided I'm going to use the apples to make like the apple jam, and hopefully that will like sell for a lot, because that seems like it should be smart. And we obviously fill up our crab pots, and then we check to see if we had anything to give to Theodore, and we don't, so we just sell it all at John's. And this day I felt a little bit lost. I sorted the animals, and after that I thought there's not really much for me to do other than kind of just sit around and then go to sleep. We start the day by making cheese, because cheese is good. And then we put some apples into our billy cans before collecting some of our carrots, which were finally ready. Farming is going to pay off big for us. I mean, the amount of stuff we're collecting, we're going to make some big money. Look at that, 350 carrots. And we started to check the weather, and yeah, no meteor shower. We've not done well. Anyway, Sheila was visiting, and she said, you know what, I want a spag bol. Can you get me one? I had a look what it requires. I have no tomatoes. Is a no from me. But then I went to Milburn. Said, look, here's some cheese, and he gave me a palmy and chips, which I think is like cooked, like it's like chicken with cheese on top and some chips. I mean, I think I've had one before. They're quite nice. But anyway, our crab pots, they're finally working. They're going well. Animals got looked after, and then we went round collecting some of our bananas, because cooked bananas, Sheila was paying good money for them. Pretty sure she pays like 2.5 times the normal amount. So we give her 20, and she actually gives us 15k, and we were like, you know what, that's not bad. Easy money. So we run around collecting a few bananas, have a look around, see if we can find any. Find an X, we're like, let's dig it up. Boom. Something was speaking to me. The gods were speaking to me, and we got an amber chunk. But we had another 20 bananas, which we quickly cooked, and again, you know, another 15 easy kale. It was actually 22, but you know, it's around the same, 16.7. I mean, end of the day, easy money. We just kind of spent that money straight away on kale seeds, so we wanted to get that planted. At this point, we were making most of our money through farming. Like, we're at that sort of point in the game where a lot of things slow down. We have got a decent amount of money, but to get anything else, we need more, and it's just annoying. Also, we went out and collected a bunch more bananas, and Sheila was like, yeah, I don't want to buy bananas anymore, so we called it a day out of anger. Next day, it's a new week, and we are collecting cheese, because, yeah, we got to collect the cheese, make some more cheese, and it's not raining, but you know what? Jackhammer time. We're getting one. We sell our amber chunk. Obviously, we're hoping for a big amount, and then you kind of remember, oh, amber chunks don't actually sell for that much later on in the game. We need a meteor shower. We need to sell a big meteor for like 600k. But as I was saying, we are at sort of that point where, like, you know, we are like sort of in the late game at this part, but we need a lot of money to buy anything new or progress, or we just need the villagers to come. So a lot of these days, I know people are going to look at it and say, look, you're wasting time. Why aren't you going until late every night? Why are you not making the most of your time? And it's like, because I've got nothing to do some of the nights. I spend myself walking around, like, looking like, what do I even do at this point? Obviously, see, we kept spending money on seeds and buying more seeds so we can fill up this area, because we just want constant, like, you know, veg to sell. And we even expanded the farming area a little bit, because we realised we didn't make it that big. Until we kind of unlock more people stay in, especially like Sheila and all that, who are very difficult to get to stay, because you need like a variety of food, or even just a massive variety of different like products to give her to make food. It's very difficult to get to stay, and you need every islander to stay so we can get the airport, and then that's sort of when we make like the next advance, and yeah, we're still nowhere near that. So at the moment, I'm sort of in that sort of slump of making like slow, gradual upgrades. It doesn't feel like a lot. We're grinding away, making different jams, making brews, you know, just hoping to make big money whilst we sit around and wait. And it's the same way how we're going to get license points quick, by just doing these random tasks. But you can see, we've been making a bunch of brews, a bunch of jams. We even started smelting a bit. We're making our wattle teas. Our plan was, we were really close to having 50 of everything, so we just collected it all up. And we now had 50 of the apple jams. and we just needed one more wattle tea, and we would have got that the next morning. Also, our jackhammer was ready. This is just kind of going to replace our normal like axes, and we can just recharge it. So again, it's a lot more easier. Obviously, we're making cheese, and some of our corn is ready to go. Obviously, we would have a bit more, but someone decided to harvest it when you're not meant to, and I don't know who that was. But anyway, we spoke to Sally, and she wanted a jungle perch, and obviously that was going to be really easy, and it wasn't going to take us like nearly all day, and you know, every fish that we caught just wasn't it. And I mean, we even looked in our book and was like, we know what it looks like, that's got to be it. And no, it wasn't it, and it still wasn't it. And we got one that was nearly it until we got it, and then we went back, and I mean, we're now nearly at 4 p.m. Like, the shops are going to be shutting soon. Again, it feels like these sort of days, it's such a waste. Like, what else do we do at this point? Like, I know this sort of seems like I've just been ranting for like the last few minutes. I've not. I'm just trying to, you know, get you to understand that if you watch this and think you're not making the most out of your time, or, you know, you seem to just not be doing much, it is purely because there just isn't much for me to do. We did give a couple of fish to Theodore, which is going to help, and then we decided to go to the undergrowth because we did have 4 ruby shards from when we last visited the deep mine. We go in, and to be fair, this wasn't to go and find a bunch of treasure. This was mainly to get iron. I was very low on iron, and we're at the region now where all our tools are going to be iron or better, or we're going to need a lot of iron. So there was some areas where we were able to go in and find ourselves, like the candle hat. I am a big fan of the candle hat. You know, it is good in some situations. In the undergrowth, it is quite dark, so it is difficult to sort of see. I mean, once I've like recorded the episode, it doesn't show as dark as it usually is, but yeah, it is quite dark when you're playing, as you might know from playing yourselves. We did find 1 emerald, which was very nice, and we also found a bunch of iron, which, you know, pretty much is what we came for. We did go to a few treasure rooms, and we did find ourselves a moose saddle, which was pretty good. We got a bottle of clouds, not too sure what that's for, but at the end of the day, I mean, as you can see, we got a ridiculous amount of iron. We had nearly 200 iron, as well as our moose saddle, a bunch of others, and we went round and got 45 glow buttons. I know, if you're big on money in this game, and you've got a bit of experience, you're going to be looking at me like, you're an idiot. You could have been selling that for a decent chunk. But again, I kind of like my place looking good. It lights it up, it looks really good, things are looking good. And also we make ourselves a new watering can, because we were like, oh god, 8:30, haven't watered the crops, it hasn't snowed or rained today, we gotta catch up. I mean, at some point I am going to have to kind of stop it all and, you know, put down sprinklers, and I was going to wait until a new season. But as you can see, the night merchant did actually arrive today. I was excited for it, and I knew we was going to need some money, because his name is a merchant, and they require money for us to buy stuff. So we went and dealt with an alpha bush devil. I mean, you've seen alphas many times, but I don't think I've ever seen one actually run away like this and just not come near me no matter what I did. And I eventually had to chase it through the water just so I could actually get there and stop it. But we took it out. We didn't get anything too crazy, but we told Franklin that we did, and he gave us a little bit of money. At this point, I didn't really know how much money I was going to need to actually, you know, get a decent amount at the night merchant. We did manage to get an opal through grinding the shiny rock, so we finally got the town bell built, all the materials there, and it will be built. And we kind of just spent the rest of the day smelting ores and just doing odd jobs whilst we waited for the night merchant to open. But we did find out it wasn't going to open till late, so it was a lot of sitting around and waiting at this point. Kind of just tried our best to fill up the time. I mean, watered crops, looked after animals. I mean, they're coming along well. Again, I'm probably going to need a bigger area. I haven't really got enough room for him right now, so that is another job. Milburn wanted 27 feathers. I don't know why. He's the sort of bloke you don't ask questions. I mean, he's in charge of money. So I was kind of like, yeah, there's your feathers, mate. Give some money. My rice was done, which is good, because we was able to chop that down, get ourselves 100 rice, which then we're able to cook, put into our chest, and wait for Jimmy to turn up on either a snowy or a rainy day, when it rains in the morning or snows in the morning, which I don't get. Like, why can't he just turn up, you know, in the middle of the day if it's snowing or raining? But whilst we was waiting around, we was like, you know what, let's go put a moose saddle on a moo, and look at us go. I mean, I'm probably not going to use it as a way to get round. They're not the easiest to control. It was just purely because I could. I was like, let's do it. But whilst we was waiting, we started cooking our rice. You know, we make a little bit of money, and then boom, night merchant was open. And we did speak to him, and he just said, I sell stuff, and that was about it. But we saw that he did these mystery bags, and my inner gambler came out, and I was like, let's buy them all. We're going to make money. Let's buy them. I think it's safe to say, I don't know if he made money. I mean, we got some cool outfits. We got a glowing axe. You know, we got some bat wings, which are really cool. A lot of this stuff was like, you know, kind of like decorative items. And I don't think I would do the night merchant again. Just purely because I'm not really too sure, you know, if anything is actually worth anything. I mean, I got some bat wings on the new top. That's cool. I got a bell. I got a dice. Like, what am I actually going to use any of this stuff for? I mean, look at this. A jackaroo wand. It makes me float. If I had a glider, that'd be good. But these candelabras, posh word, turn green. Kind of spooky. I like it. But that's about it. Wind chime, place it down. But boom, kale is ready. And with that, we're able to put more into our box, as well with some corn. I mean, at this point, we're going to have so much to sell to Jimmy when he finally arrives. I mean, look at that. Look how much we've got to sell. We're going to be making big moolah. Obviously, we check the weather, and we see tomorrow it's going to be snowing in the morning. So that means one thing. We're actually going to be able to sell our stuff and make some money. So we're excited for that. And we even see we're ready to actually have 50 more eggs. Then we go collect stuff from our trees, our plants. We've got 100+ apples that we're going to get. Things are looking good. I mean, planting these apple trees is probably one of the smartest things I've done, because not only have we sold a bunch of cooked apples to Jimmy in the past, we're also, you know, we're now 50+ apple jams, and I imagine they're going to sell for a decent amount. Well, I hope. If they don't, I'm probably just going to, you know, start cheating. But obviously it was time to water some crops. I mean, what else do we really do with ourselves? But then we spent a lot of license points on the new commerce license, which actually got us a 10% extra, like, money when we sell, which is good. We also managed to do another tower. We had enough stuff lying around. I checked on the Dinkum wiki, which is a great website if you've never used it. And yeah, new teleportation tower. We've now got it. We can now teleport to like the original harbour where you come. We make it back to our base, and we just place some cooked meat into our crab pots. I mean, you can use raw, you can use cooked. We just had cooked lying around and was like, let's go. But the next day, this was it. Time to make it to Jimmy, but first we had to talk to Clover, and she wanted 4 shells. And believe it or not, I had 4 in a chest right next to her. So we went and gave it to them and said, here you go. You know, do you want to stay yet? She still don't want to stay, but hopefully she will soon. Because then I think then we've only need 2 or 3 more villagers, and then that's it, full. But look at this, we're ready. All that to sell to Jimmy, 1.1 mil. I mean, it's a decent amount. A lot of this is just passive income. But obviously we needed more crops, so we bought another 100 rice plus 50 kale. And I'm pretty sure that wasn't enough, so I had to go buy another 50 kale at this point as well. But yeah, forget about that. But we placed down our rice as well, didn't take as long, and then we collected what was actually in our crab pots. And this has been great for all our keys at this point, because I go through a lot quite quick. We then buy some more animal food before paying off our town debt, and we decided to get ourselves a house deed. With these, John can sell for rent signs, and we can actually rent out the houses to like random villagers, and some of them like to fish, some like to hunt, some like to cut down trees. I mean, I've never seen them personally, but my wife has done it in her world and said, you know, you get like, you know, like 1,000 dinks a week. It's like, I suppose, easy money, plus there's extra people to do jobs for, which is extra license points, so it all sort of works out. Late that night, we went and dealt with an alpha jackaroo. I still think these are the hardest alphas you can face, because they're like big shockwave. Is kind of difficult, because if you like time it wrong, you struggle. But it was John that asked us to do that, and we actually was able to use our town bell for the first time. And as you can see, John was hiding next to his shop. I don't know if he didn't want to see us, but yeah, a little strained. But he gave us the money, so I can't complain. Maybe he didn't want to pay us out. Maybe he was being sketchy. The next day, we're making more cheese. You know, we're making that cheddar. And boom, fishing contest. But this time I had a plan. Last time I didn't know that it was, you know, for a certain type of fish. This time, bought myself a brand new fishing rod. I got myself some jelly brew. This actually gives you a boost to your fishing. So all we had to do was sit around and wait, do a little bit of crop harvesting. We even knew what the barracuda looked like and where they were going to be. We hopped on a jet ski and made our way out to the Northern Ocean. Honestly, we were reeling it in. Literally. Look at that. Boom, boom, boom. And the best thing is, are you ready? We were winning. We were winning. And also, did you see how close we was to like not like putting in our score? But what I was able to do is go straight to him and sell them all. Are you ready for how much? Bear in mind, we just spent the day fishing for a contest. $500,000. It's a joke. All you got to do is that. All you got to do is get barracudas on the fishing like contest. Northern Ocean, you're going to be rolling in it. The rest of the day, we looked after our animals and went out hunting a bit more meat because we was running low for our crab pots. Obviously, we had to make sure we keep them up to date because the keys were going to come in clutch at some point. I just know it. We went to sleep and woke up knowing that we were champions with our gold fishing trophy, and I sold it. I ain't going to lie. I sold it. I didn't keep it. I probably should have done. It would have looked cool, you know, in the house somewhere. But yeah, we just sold it and got like 75k. But we did get the recycling bin, which is, you know, if you've ever played Animal Crossing, you know the recycling bin can come in pretty clutch. But then we put all our money in the bank and saw that we've now reached 3 million in the bank. That was good, but we wanted to actually get ourselves a compactor. I mean, we've had one before and we accidentally broke it. Yeah, it's not my fault, but it's alright, because we're going to have a new one soon. The plan is just to kind of replace a lot of our stuff with the, you know, electrical stuff. We even make ourselves a second cheese maker because our cheese growing. Do you grow cheese? That was going well. And then we made ourselves an iron hoe because, you know, you've always got to have a top of the range hoe. We started planting down some more kale. I mean, we were doing carrot a lot. And we thought, you know what, let's increase our kale output because, again, we could do well. As you can see, the new house was built, but there wasn't any for rent signs. But, you know, the house is going to need a bed if people are going to come stay. So we got ourselves a sleeping bag and placed it in there. I don't know if you furnish it more, you do get more money. That would be a cool, like, unique sort of thing. But we will see. But then we do pay off the town debt and then apply for one more house deed. And we just plant it, you know, across, get everything ready, smelt some oars down, and it was easy enough to go. We did need some wood, though, just so we could make the recycling bin and have enough wood to get this house ready to go. So we get that done, we put everything in, craft the recycling bin, place all the stuff in for the house, and then the recycling bin gets placed down just outside the shop because it kind of feels like the right place for it. We're hoping we can get something good in there, but that was it. We woke up this morning to a brand new compactor waiting for us in our mailbox. I'm happy with that. I can't complain. Honey's ready to go. We're making more cheese. We even get a smelting request, which ain't too bad, and we can get some toffee just by giving some honey. Obviously, our corn was ready to go, so we got that already picked up, and then went to Melvin, and he was like, you know what? Do you want to buy some tin bars? Easy job. I mean, hopefully he might stay one day. And then we bought a bed off him because ours just ain't good enough. We then go to Theodore and we give him the 5 copper ore, which gives us some bar, and then we give our honey to Rain, who is happy and gives us our toffee. So some nice easy jobs done nice and early in the morning. Then obviously we've got to place down our bed, and you know what? It sorts the room out, makes it look nice. We go and then buy ourselves a mine pass as well as a first aid kit, because I'm thinking this is it. We're going to do it. We're going to go to the hot. And I ain't gonna lie, I was hoping to find one of like the treasure places that we found the first time we came, and I was like really looking forward to it, and I just didn't find one. But don't get me wrong, it did go quite well. We found a lot of blah 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 blah. Yes, we found blah blah blah. No, we found a lot of Berkelium ore. But obviously, it wasn't just going to be simple. We obviously had to, fight a few people. But Berkelium ore is good for us because we do have the quest for Franklin to find him 10 Berkelium ore, and he will give us something new. We're unsure what, but we'll find out once we get that done. When I originally played this game, this was like not a thing. This whole, hot wasn't a thing. The undergrowth was like the newest thing. And I ain't gonna lie, like, we were getting hit. I'm pretty sure there is a way to make potions that stop you from taking fire damage, and we probably should have done that or looked into it, but you know what, it's in the past now. And yeah, we got quite a bit of Berkelium ore. That's going to work out for us. We're going to unlock new stuff. We go to Franklin and he's like, yeah, boom, you've done it, I'm impressed. I don't think he actually has much faith in us. But anyway, now he's able to craft new stuff. We can't see just yet, we've got to wait for the next day. But we check the weather as always, and then it's time for us to check on our animals before we go and see Franklin. And we're like, let's see what's new. And I mean, he's got the standard stuff, but he's also got improved stuff, but they're very, very expensive. And then I'm like, yeah, cool, cool, cool. We got solar panels, a plane. And the one thing that does catch my eye is the blast furnace, because that makes it so we're actually able to craft ores not only quicker, but now we get twice the amount. So when we put in, 5 ores, instead of getting 1 bar, we now get like 2 bars, 3 bars. It's working out for us. It actually works out quite well. We do go and improve our inventory, and then we head out and we are looking for some wattle flowers, as well as just, looking for some decent ores, because, we want to get this furnace going. We need quite a lot so we can actually, make this blast furnace. And, we got to grab what we can do. We are quite low, and deep mine, I wasn't really feeling it. Obviously, we want to make as much brew as we can, because we want to sell it to Jimmy. Money is a big thing in this game. And also, now that we've got our new compactor, we was like, you know what, let's actually do it. Let's finally, after this long time, improve our farming area. Let's actually put a bit of effort into this, because I'm sick of running around, slowly and, having to water everything. I'm not feeling it. But the next day, boom, blast furnace. We place that down, look at the size of it. And we can put Berkey more into it. I mean, I don't have enough to do that just yet. Maybe we will at some point. But boom, more corn is ready. It's corn. As well as our kale. No one's made a song about kale, so if someone does, I'll probably reference that at some point. Sheila, the dealer, has come to visit today, and she's like, can you make me a pasty? And I have a look, and I'm like, no can do. No can do. But it's alright, because my quandongs and my apples are ready to be harvested, as well as our wattle flour, which, I mean, we'll may as well grab. So planting these down was probably like one of the smartest things I did. And then she says, I'm paying big dinks for scones. I have a look and I'm like, I can make them, Boom, we make 10. You ready to see how much we get? 193k. That's not bad, But pretty much we need to buy more seeds. So we have a look and we see, look, we're 2 days away from the start of the new season. We get into spring in 2 days. It just ain't worth us buying any flowers, any seeds, because none of them are actually going to be, harvestable, or none of them, are going to survive. So we're just like, what, we'll leave it, we expand our area, we make it nice and big, it's going to give us more area to harvest more. But also, when you think about it, one of the bigger things, we can start crafting sprinklers. Get that area going, get it looking good, automate it, so I don't have to do much, Make the game easier for me. I mean, we're nearly at 90 days. We're like 80 plus days in, and I've only just started automating. I mean, maybe we've been a little slow, maybe we've focused on other stuff, but we will get there at some point. Next morning, woke up, and look what Rain sent us. Some wallpaper. But it's alright, because we got a map table, and that's actually kind of cool. I mean, I wish you was able to view it, or, in a way, or it was more zoomed in. But anyway, it's still kind of cool. We did a job for Melbourne. Boom, give him a tin sheet. He gives us like 2 tin bars, or 3 tin bars, even better. And then we've just got, the big crafting of water tanks, and then obviously sprinkle. We've got to do as much as we can to just try and get all of this stuff ready to go, so that when we're into spring, we feel like we're ready to actually, get this automation going. Obviously, and there's like a whole thing. I mean, there's websites and there's layouts you can do, but look, I ain't into the whole min-maxing. I just like to enjoy my time playing it, I'm going to play it my way. So we kind of just did our own thing. And once we had a bit of time, we ran round, catching some bugs, looking for some more, hoping to catch something new, get a few license points for the museum, and we got some cool stuff, and then we called it a night. The next morning, our kale was ready to be picked up. We grabbed it all. I mean, at the end of the day, like I keep saying, it's money, and that is the main thing. You need money for everything. And I mean, we've got money sat in the bank, that's great. But we do need more. We always need more. We also see that Desert Scorpion, we didn't actually have that in the museum. And then we go to Melvin and he's like, I'll buy your butterfly off you. Psh, easy, mate. Grab it. Didn't want it anyway. But then we go round and we start placing down our water tanks. I really don't know if I put them in good, locations. I start placing down the sprinklers, and I'm trying to count and visualize in my head where they need to go. And then I'm thinking like, have I done it right? But I was like, you know what, we'll leave it. And I kind of realised that I felt like we spent ages here. But also, look at that, hang glider. That's a rare thing to get. Obviously, I ain't going to show the deep mine. Look how much all we got. This is the loot. I wasn't going to spend, you know, a long time showing you me harvesting up. We've done the deep mine enough. But hang glider, buzzing. Finally got used for a kangaroo or a jackaroo staff, but still. But yeah, I feel like we spent a lot of time crafting these sprinklers and, you know, a lot of materials, and we made, like, you know, what I felt like was a lot, but in reality wasn't a lot. So we was like, right, let's try and get some more made. And again, we've done maybe like a third of our new farm area. So yeah, we've still got quite a lot to go. You know, we still need to kind of make a lot more sprinklers at this rate. But it's alright, we will get there. We will get there. This game is about progression, and we will progress. Will it be done before we finish the 100 days? No guarantees. Oh yeah, we move our gate. I mean, interesting. This is some high intensity gameplay right there. Placing down some new paths. Ooh, you like what you're seeing, don't you? But you know, I thought this probably seems a little bit better, and I thought, you know what, let's even have a path going down the side. You know, we're not going to plant out there. It seems like a smart idea. I mean, we was working till late. And as you can see, this is working out. It's going well. Obviously, we need to use our hoe to kind of get the area ready to go. So we do that, and, you know, we're going to be able to plant stuff soon. And obviously, it's raining. Jimmy's here. We have a lot of stuff ready to sell to him. We're hoping for a big payout. And I mean, it was a decent amount, you know, 795k. I can't complain. And we do use a bit of that to get ourselves some coffee seeds. So with that, we're hoping, you know, a bit of fertilizer down, get them ready to go. We're going to make either some money back, or we're going to be able to use this for some, you know, good. But I still don't know how to make coffee, so that is a little bit of an issue. And I know I've said a bunch of times, I'm not bothered about the museum. You know, I'll put what, you know, if I get it done, I get it done. If I don't, I don't. I'm not that interested. But I don't know, something came over me, and I was like, you know what? I want to kind of do as much as a museum as possible, you know. I want to work towards getting the books. And we actually do get our first book. And that's good, we get the fish book. And if you've never seen the books before, you're able to open them near the water, and as you can see, it will tell you the name of the fish and the value. But if you've never collected the fish, or you haven't got it, it'll have a bunch of question marks on it. So that's good. So we're able to go round and just grab 2 fish that we definitely knew we didn't have in the museum, because on the pedia tells us we don't. So it's smart. We're going to do it. Alpha Jackaroo. Again, we're going to do the alphas. It's worth it. And then Sheila's like, I want a meat pie. We have a look. We can make a meat pie. We've finally done a job for Sheila. She's the hardest, because she'll ask for the most randomest item. You know, she'll be like, can you go make me this? And it's like, I don't have that. I also remembered I had rubies to sell. I kind of forgot about them. It was kind of, you know, lucky enough I found them. Put a bit of money into the bank. We hit the 3 mil mark. I'm pretty sure we've hit it before. But then we go out with the jet ski and kind of just look for a bunch of fish that we've never caught before. Because not only do we get license points, you know, we're also wanting to get the bug book. So then with the bug book, again, exactly the same with the fish book. Open it up. Beep boop beep. Have I got this one? I haven't. Alright. Well, and now we do. But then we go to rain, get a bunch of seeds, and start our new farming empire. Obviously, as you can imagine, this is expensive, but also we have to try and, you know, figure out the area, like what we want where, and also not have like too much of the same stuff. And I want a bit of variety, because we also need a bunch of different ones. And I do make a few mistakes. There's like 2 plots that don't get hit by the sprinklers, and I just don't know why. I didn't figure this out. But yeah, so that's kind of annoying. But even though, you know, we made a lot of money, we've also spent a lot of money in this instance. I mean, you know, seeds aren't cheap, and, you know, it's an investment at the end of the day. We're hoping to make the money back. I mean, the rice seems to be quite good. I mean, we probably double our money every time, and then when we sell with Jimmy, we probably get a bit more. It's definitely cheap. It's easy to do. It don't require O, and we're able to just place it down. We did get our next building license. At this point, it's just like, let's get, you know, as many licenses as we can. And look at that, green beans. We get them planted down, good to go. These are the ones that kind of grow on the stems, so they're kind of cool. And obviously, as you can see, some areas did get missed by the sprinklers. Don't know how, so I had to go around and water them. But we had a little flyover, you know, a little Tom Cruise action. And then the next day, Sally, she's here. We're like, come on, you know, are you going to stay here? Nah, she still doesn't stay. Not really that fun, but we decided to go around and jump into the water, picking up some stuff off the bottom, hoping for some new items, and our apples are ready to go again, so that's always good news. And you know what, for once, finally, 80 plus days in, we finally improve our fishing rod from the basic one to the iron one. And I don't know why I've never done that, I don't know why I've not really put much effort into it, but Rain had a job for us, 1 alpha scale for 20 instant grow, and for some reason I thought 1 instant grow will grow something instantly. Turns out no, it requires multiple for something to grow. So we use it on the on our coffee plants, hoping to get some coffee seeds or coffee beans. You know, seeing what we get, and I still don't know what to do with them. I've just got them sat around. Also, turns out if you know you actually improve the quality of the guest house and then put the rental sign down, which is 50k, can I just add? You actually get more rent. So the better the the furniture inside and the nicer it looks, you're gonna get more money. So yeah, that's what we do. We kind of put a few decorations down, and anytime we get furniture, we'll probably just throw it into there. But as you can see, the wary moves. I'm trying to get some eggs, and then they just kill their own kind. Yeah, they just destroy their eggs. They say, look, if we can't have them, no one can. But we go and take down the Alpha Jackaroo, get our money, and then we get ourselves a building license again. At this point, I mean, we get the advanced crafting table and the advanced cooking table. You need like Birkin bar and cloth. I've not even got that yet, so it's a no from me. We have a look at our good old area and see things are going well. And this is our new residence, River. And I believe he's into like fishing. Each like guest house person is about that. But boom. The next day is a meteor shower, but we also do get another rental sign, so we're able to place that down on the other guest house. So we got 2 of them. I think it's like we're gonna get like 2k dinks each house each week. I mean, we could do with better, but you know, it'll do. But obviously, before we go, we wanted to get some flowers. Obviously, we did find ourselves a couple more things that we'd not had in the museum, placed them down. And, you know, it works out. We're getting the license points, things are going well, and obviously we want a few flowers placed around to make the place look nice. We've got flowers from each season and even different areas, so it is all good. So here we are, the final 10 days. And we start day 91 by seeing we have a meteor shower today. We also picked up a job for Rain. Quite simple, she wanted a banana, we gave her one, and she gave us a fruit salad. Yummy, yummy. We then go to Theodore, and he's like, what have you brought me? And we give him a dragonfly. I don't remember how we got the dragonfly, we just had a dragonfly. We then saw Clover, and she said, could you get me some furniture? So we went and just grabbed some random furniture and gave it to her. All just very basic stuff at this point. Still though, we're still missing quite a few of the people who are meant to live. I mean, I felt like we should have had them by now. We go to big old John Dog, and we do get a mine pass, but again, we've seen this, I'm not going to show it. Then we sit around on top of John's shop waiting for the meteor shower. And obviously, all you got to do is kind of like watch out for the big red one that you can see there. But yeah, so I kind of messed up. Bear in mind, this is like our second one ever. I was buzzing, I was like, this is going to go well. And we got killed on the way. So yeah, not very good. And then I was like, it's alright, I can just go get it in the morning. It's not there. It is gone. I lost the meteor. But I had some rubies. Yeah, that's definitely well worth it. I'm definitely not really depressed now. It's not good. Then I didn't record for the next 3 days. Well, I did, but I didn't have my OBS set right, so yeah. But as you can see, we got 2 more honey harvesters, got some things. We have some, you know, some of our crops ready to go. So we got some furniture from Melvin. We have loads of stuff to sell to Jimmy if he ever turns up. So yeah, I do apologise, you missed like 3 days of stuff happening. I mean, we made a waterfall. It's cool. But with the furniture that we did buy, we placed it into some of the rental houses, because again, it increases the value of the rent, and it makes it so we get more money. But I'm very annoyed that I did mess up. But Franklin wanted an onion, so we gave him an onion, because, yeah, garden salad. Boom. Easy food. Also, we found the bug book. We managed to get the bug book from the museum. And as you can see, we've kind of filled it up quite a lot now, and we're doing quite good. I mean, we're like 10 bugs away from being complete, and then like 8 critters and 14 fish. So really, you know, we could get this done quite soon. But we had an alpha to deal with, so we made ourselves an iron spear. We had an alpha croco that needed to get poked. And again, we've seen this loads of times. I don't need to show you it. Easy. You know, we're pretty good now. So Theodore said, well done, there's 27k, I feel like we should still get more, but pretty much all the money we had, we just bought seeds. You know, we needed to fill up our area, and I was looking, thinking, you know what, we could do with some more sprinklers. You know, we need to improve our area. So after we plant everything we've got, and we realise, you know what, we are missing, you know, a trick here, we head out to see if we can actually make some more sprinklers. We managed to make 2, and I'm thinking that's not enough, I do need more. Also, my hoe broke, and yeah, I needed a new hoe. I don't know if it's me, but I do kind of get, like, you know, some satisfaction from the farming. I think the farming's really good. But Melvin turned up the next day, and he's like, yeah, give me some new clothes, because my drip isn't dripping anymore. So now me and Melvin have matching tops. It's pretty cool. And because of that, he was like, you know what, I'll stay. So we've now actually been able to have Melvin come stay. But before we, you know, build his shop, we were very low on springs, so we kind of spent the whole day going out, digging, you know, the X's. We found an amber chunk, can't complain. We actually got a decent amount for it. And then with that money, we just bought, like, loads of onions, because onions make money. Then we was able to make 7 more sprinklers. I mean, I don't know how I struggled so much placing these down. I had to keep changing them, because my brain just couldn't figure out where to place them. But we did that, and then I had some shiny discs as well, so we gave them to Franklin the next day, just for that extra money, just so we can buy some more stuff if we need it. And then finally, she had a job for us that we actually could do. All we needed to do was give us, you know, get 1 bit of raw meat, sausage roll, 1 job done for Sheila in 100 days nearly. 1 job done. But Saturday, this is what I'm saying, second to last day, day 99, and finally we're able to get a hoe, you know, upgrade it to the iron, and actually, like, use our new sprinklers. So it annoys me when these, you know, these villages aren't open every day, or they've got, like, random days off, and they're like, oh, I'm going to be shot on a Friday. Like, why? Shot on a Sunday like everyone else. But we had the new area ready to go. As you can see, we've expanded again quite, you know, quite big-wise. I mean, is it, like, the best? No. Is there, like, you know, would there have been a better way to do this? More, you know, what's the word, like, effective? Yeah, probably, but I'm not a nerd. We did have another alpha to deal with, an alpha bush devil, so, again, very simple. These ones are really easy to figure out their attacks. You just jump, all you kind of got to do. Got rid of that nice and quick, and then we went to Franklin to let him know that we had dealt with that. Then we made our way to the town hall to pay off the town debt, so we could actually get Melvin's shop built and placed down, and we, you know, hopefully have it ready to go. Obviously, Flex did the usual yap, give me more money. She's scamming us. I know she is. She's a scam artist. But we got the shop placed down, and we had a look at the materials, and it's very basic materials. So all we had to do was chop down a couple of trees, and we were pretty much ready to go. So at this point, as far as I'm aware, we are still missing maybe 2 villagers, as well as the airport, which is a shame that we didn't have the chance to get that done. But I mean, Sheila's impossible to just ever get any jobs done for her. But there we are, day 100, and it is the bug competition. So obviously we had to go out and get as much as we could. I thought I was doing quite well. Halfway through, we logged our score, and we sold a bunch of bugs to her. I mean, she buys them for like a decent amount, 101k, easy. And every time we captured a decent amount, we'd pop back, log our score, and I genuinely thought we were going to win this. I felt like we were doing well. We were selling loads of bugs. We had like, another 2 inventories full, and we came 3rd. But 100 days complete. I mean, overall, I think our town looks amazing. I feel like we've done such a good job with it. I mean, we've got our animal area, we've got Melvin's shop being built. We've got the rental houses, we're doing quite well. I feel like our house is in a good place. We've got the deep mine. Everything's worked out well. I'm impressed with how far we've come. So if you have enjoyed, do make sure to like, comment and subscribe. And if you are playing Dinkum, I wish you the best.